February 21st, 2010. VGN Radio presents Midwest Wasteland with your hosts Kevin Baird,
Brian Baird,
Don Anderson, Don Cease,
and undead from the most miserable city in the country, Larry Mack.
Okay. Tonight's topic, holidays. All right, so tonight we have Don and Don both on cell phones because that's
how we roll.
We're on the beat tonight.
They're both driving in opposite directions, and they may collide at some point if they both fall asleep and drive off the road at the exact same time. We have Larry Mack back.
Well, let's see. If I hit you down, I'll take you out to the bar. How's that? That's cool.
Everybody was missing my awesome input, last week.
Yeah, Larry was missing from the show because he went.
We had to make obeisance to get him back.
He went on a little vacation. Everything go all right, Larry? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was super. It was a good time.
Were you chasing the little girls in Vietnam again?
I was. All right. Thailand though, Vietnam has become too big a spot, and I mean they just see it coming, and they've jacked up the prices so much since I first started going over there. So Thailand is the way to go.
Thailand, all right. I'll remember that.
All right, and and then you got Brian and me as usual. Jason Corber may join us sometime during the broadcast, though as usual, he is so
currently MIA.
Yeah, unreliable that probably won't be.
He's busy making money so he can move back to Cleveland. Because now that he called it.
Now it's the new hot spot. Everybody wants to live here.
It's a place.
The temperature did go up to like
shot, so he's like, I can't fail. I got to do it. I got to make one.
It's great the temperature went up. I had my kids. We were going to go sledding this weekend because I took my other one sledding last weekend. And we'll go sledding. It'll be great. Woohoo! And they come over and there's no snow. I'm like, of course. Why would there be?
I mean, there's no snow. Dude, there's tons of snow.
Yeah, the temperature didn't go up to 80 and melt at all.
It melted, dude. It's gone.
Brian, you just didn't want to leave.
I'm glad I get two cell phones and two guys on the mic to just sit there and just come at me at once. It's awesome. There's no... It just devolves into hazing.
Nah.
Brian did what?
It's like two AM radios and two FM radios trying to out-talk each other. It's pretty fun.
Brian, just admit you didn't want to go outside. You were lazy and tired. You were looking, you're like, no, you know what?
Dude,
there's no sledding.
In fact, I bought a fucking winter hat that looks like a Viking helmet. It's even got the horns on it and shit. I'm like, go out there and fucking sled me great and shit. And no.
You're like, do I really want to stand around the fire barrel watching my dumb kid sled? No.
Fire barrel? I'm going down the sled, dude. I did last week. Didn't feel good afterwards, but
wow. All right.
Did it several times because that's how I roll, dude.
All right, that's cool.
I couldn't find a single hill down here. And nobody down here ever
It's not going down the hill isn't the bitch. It's going back up the fucking hill. It sucks because you're gonna be that guy that's going up the hill and goes lose your footing. You slide back down to the bottom again, looking at ass.
That's why I get hit with one of those razors. To me, the Metro Parks because they got steps on the sides of their hills.
They don't have that here. They have like fence posts with rope tie between them and little knots.
No, you're in Eastlake.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? You live in the Metro Parks? No, you don't.
Yeah, in a tree.
Yeah, Metro Parks don't have no steps where I go.
Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about holidays, and I've kind of listed off a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not sure that we're going to be able to get it all in, although if everybody here kind of has nothing to say, then maybe we'll get it all in within 2 hours.
I got nothing. I'm going to do a Larry. I got nothing.
And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk about a holiday. And I'll talk first so Brian can actually think of something to talk about. Because if I start with Brian...
Dude, because I get popped with the question. It's like no prep time. It's like, ready, go.
I know. We've been talking...
Nothing.
Yeah, Brian, I'm really sorry.
I understand, but we do tell you 4 weeks ahead of time that we were going to do a holidays episode. So
I don't even remember what I did besides going sledding. And the only reason I knew I wasn't sledding is because my life was in some sort of peril.
Yeah,
aside from that, dude, no idea.
Brian, after 5.5 years of doing this show, I know.
Brian is your father. I am back from the dead, and I'm taking over your brother.
I've only come back from the dead to mock you.
That's
all I want.
What else would he come back?
I completely understand, and
what's heaven like? Shut up.
I'm not expecting anything from you.
None of your business. You're not going to find out.
You turn into a smoke monster.
Yeah.
All right, so. Basically, I'm going to start with Thanksgiving. And the reason I'm going to start with Thanksgiving is because I find it to be one of the worst holidays, period.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of
Full of yummy food if you're lucky.
It's on a Thursday, which is dumb, because Friday becomes like this confusing thing for most employers. They're like, well, you can take Friday off, but, you don't have to because...
The next day is like the busiest shopping day of the year.
Yeah, we're still open. So you can come in and then you can use that day later, but then we'll give you a hard time about it later when you want to use it. So it's a really, and then you got to get together with family, and the only purpose of it all is basically to have a meal together, which is always like, I don't know.
Horrible.
Yeah. It's not really all that great. So, I mean, Brian, I don't know, do you remember Thanksgiving with Mom back in Clawson at all?
No, absolutely. I was running some of the holidays through, and I remember Christmases. I remember a couple of my birthdays. That's it, dude.
I don't remember
Thanksgiving. I don't remember. All I know is that Mom used to, cook, and I don't know if she used, some kind of, bizarre kind of butter or something, or she used lard, because every time she would, whatever she used, it would make, this scent, this smell, and it would just smell vomity. And I was just whatever was going to get cooked, it was I don't want to eat it. And this is before,
a cloven fucking turkey for you guys.
No, dude, she was married to my dad. That my dad didn't put up with that fucking weirdo food bullshit. Plus, his mom, my grandmother, was living with us for a while, and you had to make all American kinds of food, or that was it, dude. You were Nazi.
Right. I don't really remember having Thanksgiving dinner in the old house in Clawson, Michigan. When we lived in with our step family.
Remember visiting relatives. That's it.
Basically, yeah. We would go. We would get in. Okay, so when my dad got married to my stepmonster, they the grandparents of her parents gave them a blue van. And it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like a van like today where it was some Aerostar or anything. It was like a blue work van. Okay, and it had these
with bench seats.
Yeah, we had blue rubber bench seats. And
and you did bars, and you could transport prisoners in it.
And it had these square windows on the side, and they had these little levers that you would open, you would lift and then push out, so it would the window would kind of go out, and that's how you would get air. And
allegedly,
right? You would flip up this thing so it would unlock the window, and then the bottom of the window would push out, and so you had this 2-inch area. Okay. Anyway, the window was about 6 inches across and maybe half a foot, 6 inches down, but so it was like a square, and we were so poor. Okay, I want people to understand this. Okay. We lived in Ohio, and the grandparents lived in Troy, Michigan. Okay, it's about a 3-hour drive. Okay,
3 hours.
Right in the cold ass winter, and or close to it, because it's late November. It's not winter yet. Okay, but it's cold. All right. One of those windows was gone, broken. Okay. So there's just a space of air. It wasn't like it was gone while we were driving. Nobody drove by and said, fuck you, and hit a brick into it and smashed it. Okay? There was no window there. I think
that would have made that kind of good a sense.
Right. There was no window there, and they said, we're going to drive to Michigan for Thanksgiving. And we're sitting there going, well, what about the window? And I don't think we
Don't be a smart ass.
I don't think we covered it or anything. We were like,
we'll
just dress warm or something. Or they put I think they took one of those Millbrook bread bags and used some Scotch tape to put it over. Something.
We had no clue what we were in for.
Fucking horrible, right? It was so we're driving, and it was so unbelievably fucking cold this because the heater in
people in the van, and we were freezing it.
The heater in the van did not work, so we had a no heater van with a hole in the window driving to Michigan, the cold wilds of Michigan, to have fucking Thanksgiving dinner.
Snow flying in the window.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, by the time we got to Michigan, the fucking thing had already fallen apart.
It was just horrible. So
no cardboard. Nobody thought let's use cardboard. It was let's use a plastic bag. That'll help. Going 65 miles an hour on the turnpike.
It was it was tremendously awful, and it was one of my fondest memories of Thanksgiving because I don't know how we survived it. So,
like the rest.
Brian, do you have a Thanksgiving memory of any sort?
In particular, I remember I actually just bring up, we're talking about the first one or the one that we just sticks mostly in our heads. Because the one that sticks mostly in the heads when Mom came out from, recently and was making Thanksgiving over our house where I'm living here in Eastlake, which was actually pretty cool. We hadn't seen her in a long time. I had my kids over, my brother and his girlfriend. Obviously, my girlfriend was there, but I invited my girlfriend's mom. And there was, to this day, neither she nor I don't know what's going on, but there was something going on there, okay, where she just literally was, not happy with the fact that we weren't having Thanksgiving the way we normally did, which was over her house. And, you could just feel like there's, some sort of weirdo tension.
Oh, yeah, there's always all sorts of weird brawls over where dinner is going to be. Wait, we're having it here at my house. Well, no, we've had it there the last 10 years. We thought we would do it. You're assholes.
Yeah, it was just really bizarre. Because normally it was I know the woman. She's a cool chick. We get along pretty good. And it was out of nowhere. It was just she kept saying things. My mom was taking a picture and it's no, telling her, no, come on, get in. You can get in with the picture and stuff. It's no, I'm not part of this family. I'm backed out of the picture altogether. Wow. Okay.
She was smart.
Just shit like that. Just shit like that. It was what the fuck is going on, man? And it went from a possible really good fucking dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, to she's got to go.
Yeah. It's just all awkward and uncomfortable. Everyone's you bringing dinner out so we can eat that and leave?
Yeah, it was really fucking uncomfortable and stuff. And I was just it was I went out and bought new dishes. And because I'm we're gonna turn it on. We're gonna really
bathed,
brush teeth, made sure the mice were all rounded up in a little box downstairs and released them later so I could chase them later. It's just fun for me, pounce on them, shake it with my teeth, it was just that's the one that really just sticks immediately in my memory because most other Thanksgivings, dude, and I maybe the rest of the guys here can agree, is we eat too much. We got turkey in us, and that turkey has that goddamn whatever it is, tryptophan or whatever, and then you just lose your memory because you're asleep.
Tryptophan.
Yeah, you're out cold. You're just it's bedtime now. I need to sleep, and usually it's in front of some karate sports team that you don't really care all that much about. So,
okay, Anderson.
Yeah. I never had anything crazy happen. I never had any crazy Thanksgivings. Everything was pretty much normal. But every year we would just get together. Everybody would come over to our house. Well, not everybody. My family is kind of strange. My immediate family, we're all together. But then when you get to cousins and uncles and stuff like that, people disappear for a while. People stop talking to each other for no reason. And I didn't know a couple of my cousins' names. I kept getting the two brothers mixed up. And I ran into him once in North Olmsted. I was all messed up. He was like, "Hey, Donnie, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh, Jim." And he's like, "I'm John." I'm like, "Right." I was, And I was like, so our family, so it's when I say the family got together for Thanksgiving, it was me, my brothers, whoever their girlfriends were, maybe an aunt or an uncle, and maybe a cousin or two, you know what I mean? Not a lot of people. And then, it wasn't, that's all and it's just, it was just a day off of school and a good meal and crap football, pretty much. And then I would eat, and then I would just run down the street, go play over my friend's house. Because I convinced all the neighborhood kids, dude, just because it's a holiday doesn't mean you have to spend it with your family. So I'll hang out and play.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So nothing exciting. Thanksgiving's pretty boring for me.
Did they make any really interesting Scottish dishes? Do you eat haggis?
No. Turkey and haggis.
I just started
eat turkey for Thanksgiving. We eat turkey for Thanksgiving, too, because it's an American holiday, so why would we?
You mix it up, man. Brian and I, we used to, we'd wear lederhosen. We'd come out, we'd be like, woo, we'd have some sausage. Yeah. We'd drink big steins of beer. And we'd be like, all right. It was awesome.
Big stein of mead.
We'd be all messed up. Yep. We'd play crazy games and we'd click our heels together every time.
Cyber tossing and shit.
Dance around punching each other in the face.
Throwing.
All right.
Stuff. No, yeah, we didn't do it. We played football on Thanksgiving. Nothing major there. Pretty cool. Moving on.
Okay.
Oh, Nevik.
Larry.
Huh? What?
Your turn, man.
Me?
I moved.
I'm glad I started with Thanksgiving because it's such an uplifting holiday to talk about.
What the fuck do you have on your show, dude? We're all fuckers.
Look, I just want to say, hold on, before we continue, the next one's going to be Christmas, so start thinking of some shit. All right? Go ahead, Larry. Thanksgiving.
Well, when you're
other holidays are going to be better than some holidays. Come on. I got shit for some holidays. It's just some holidays we didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
No one killed each other at the dining room table. Come on, Thanksgiving.
It was like peacetime, man. Everything else, that's what our family was like. Let's not kill each other.
The occasional knife fight over who's going to carve the turkey, but...
Did you ever go to like a Chinese restaurant because the turkey was burnt? Something like that?
Nope. All right, we can't use...
And have some duck.
Right. Cut the head off at the table.
Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, Larry?
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, I don't really have interesting Thanksgiving stories. Thanksgiving for me is, well, it's always been, you have the, big meal with the family, and, the last few years it's actually been dominated by my, my turkey bowl game every Thanksgiving morning, so that usually then gets me out of the dinner with the family, because, okay, we're going to Youngstown for Thanksgiving dinner, we're going to be leaving... Oh no! I got my football game. I can't go. So you guys have fun. I'll see you around. So my last few Thanksgivings have actually been even less exciting than my previous ones because I play football, and by the time that's done, most of the family has made the journey to wherever it is they're having dinner. And I will tell you, the one year, for those of you who haven't had this problem, if it never occurs to you that you are going to be staying home on Thanksgiving and you go out and play football or whatever, ain't shit open for food on a Thanksgiving.
Right.
I made the mistake of actually trying to find food.
Convenient.
I couldn't find that Chinese joint with the burnt duck. So, it was foraging in the cupboards for like an old can of ravioli to...
Larry, I can just see you in like the McDonald's parking lot with a big frown on your face.
Really sad Charlie Brown music playing. Larry looks long and
staring at it.
In the window.
Drive through window and I'm hitting the horn. I'm looking up there. I drive up to the window. I'm knocking. Hello.
Let me in.
I forgot. I didn't know.
Would you give me nuggets?
What do you mean you already ate the turkey? I thought you saved me some.
Okay.
Larry Mac, wah. Yeah, that's the only thing you hear is Larry Mac. Wah, 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 Larry Mac, wah. You had your chance for your Larry Mac sandwich. Yeah.
I also got to spend a Thanksgiving with a dislocated finger after Turkey Bowl that I didn't realize was dislocated until 2 days later when the swelling hadn't gone down at all. I couldn't bend it, and it was purple and, gangrenous.
Real quick, Larry, I didn't know if you knew this or not, but Xbox 360 just re-released Blood Bowl.
Nice.
Yeah. Or basically, it's Warhammer Fantasy playing football. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I think I'll be getting that real shortly. Like... because I'm over the Warhammer nut, so and this looks awesome with like the new better graphics. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so all over that.
Part of the fun of it though was the shitty graphics.
I don't think it'll be too good of graphics. It's just isn't fun.
Yeah, okay. Who gives a fuck? All right, so one thing about Thanksgiving, like I used to live by myself, and for the longest time, and would just eat Thanksgiving by myself, which was always kind of shitty because
you used to make Thanksgiving for people though, didn't you?
No, well, for people who. There was, everybody has a family.
Come over and
Adam.
Yeah, well, not just them, like all the fucking the unwashed would come over. The people that had like no families and just like bring shit together.
No, at nighttime, people like Anderson would stop by or something like that. But during the day, like when Thanksgiving would be going on, no, it'd just be me. Brian's out with his girlfriend having her gruel-like Thanksgiving.
It would be the wife at the time.
Yeah, whatever. No, I mean at any time. You weren't married to her. I was in Lakewood for 6 years, dude, and most of the time you were actually with Jody, and you would be over her house having Thanksgiving, and we don't have any family around here, so whatever. Just be by myself. It's cool. Fuckers. Fucking bastards. Cease? Thanksgiving?
I got one stupid Thanksgiving memory. All the other ones were just pretty normal. Sitting around the table getting ready to eat, and my mom is still getting shit out in the kitchen, and we're sitting there waiting for her, and she placed all these goddamn cups out there, like coffee cups, And we're looking around, and I saw it, and it looks like, I thought there was tea in there and shit, I'm like, oh, yeah, look at tea, and I thought she made us tea and shit. So I grabbed the cup, and my brother's like, and my sister, kicks him underneath the table. So I take a big dollop of this shit, and it ended up being like fucking gravy. So I spit it all over the table, fucking ruined the whole goddamn dinner. He was all pissed off. What the hell are you doing? God damn it! I'm like, oh man, fucking, I was the asshole the whole fucking day.
It's funny, man.
That's the only thing I can remember for any. Everything else is just normal.
You guys ever go over somebody else's house for Thanksgiving? Because I've done that whole thing where
horrible.
Dates or something, and you're there, and they're their whole family's there.
You
and
are
stuff.
such a fifth wheel.
Yeah,
you're
you are not
the
kidding.
one person that you're there with. It's like
you're looking for shit to read.
You're trying not to make any weird noises or anything. You're just okay. Please ignore me.
That's the worst time when you're over somebody else's house. You're all nervous and shit, and that's when your fucking stomach decides to make the most gas it could possibly make. You're like, oh fuck, I gotta go to the bathroom.
It's like after Thanksgiving, you can sit around and you end up sitting and you're surrounded by kids playing with blocks and stuff. And you're just by yourself while the family's
fucking
mingling.
Grab your hand with their greasy fucking fingers and shit.
You meet one other guy that just wants to talk to you and stuff. You're like, how are you doing? And then if you get together with all the men,
there's a relative that feels sorry for you, but that's because nobody's talking to him either.
If you get together with all the men, it eventually just turns into sports and stuff, and one guy's just talking about the golf game he saw the other night or something. You're just
it's always a sport nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah, where the fuck can I get out of here?
You don't know anything.
See that squash match?
Jesus Christ!
Hey Kevin, do you play squash? No.
Well, listen to the story.
What am I, a fag?
So what do you do? Computers? Oh, got nothing to say to you anymore.
Watch video games, huh?
If you're like. Oh, I fix sports cars. I'd be hey.
Computers. Hey, my computer's running real slow. What do you think that is?
Oh, man, that doesn't happen to me. No, that conversation comes later. It's a week later when you're remember that Steve that you met? He's wondering if you could stop by and maybe look at this computer. Because he's got this horrible fucking virus on it that's destroyed all his shit. And he's just wondering, can you maybe take a look at it and stuff?
And I told him, you're like a whiz and you can fix that stuff, no problem.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, it's more could you just tell him to just restore everything back from normal? Because I'm not going to be able to, no. But they don't really believe. They just think that you're being lazy or something. Yeah. Come on. You can look at, it's no.
Why's your boyfriend being a dick?
And then you got to be the voice of you got to be the voice of doom too. You got to be all well, it's fucked. And they're like, really? Yeah.
Children play with it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You see this? You see this demon face laughing in the corner right here, and how every time I type, it's periods and question marks and yeah.
It's just period and question marks. That's because of that.
It's really fucked up. Look, if I move the mouse right, it goes up. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
And then when you're done telling me you can't fix it, they're like, well, I got this cousin that can look at it. Like you're an asshole,
Yeah, that's messed up. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't let the kids use it, but I don't know. They said they didn't do anything. Oh, God. Of course they didn't. Your kids are angels. But anyway,
did you make them promise that they did?
I guess I won't bother to even ask if we should go around again and wonder if anybody else has any more fucking Thanksgiving stories since that didn't work out so well.
It's a dead issue.
All right.
My aunt makes some badass food. That's all I'm going to say.
Badass is in good? Or?
Issue. Huh?
Badass is in good?
Yeah, it's in good. As in, I drive from Columbus to Eastlake. I make it from Columbus to Eastlake in an hour just to get there.
Yeah, tell her you're going to have extra people this year.
Yeah.
Although, Don, I'm thinking that you probably just eat the turkey, the mashed potatoes, and the corn, and everything else is left off the plate.
Stuffing, ham, gravy, carrots, green beans. Green bean cashew makes a good green bean casserole.
You eat green beans, man?
Yeah.
Once a year.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
I've never seen him eat a green anything, be honest.
Dude, it all started years ago when I actually had my first bowl of soup.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, wow, there's like carrots and celery in here. And then all of a sudden I'm like, my body feels weird. Like, stuff's moving.
Giant
moving inside
shit.
of me. Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's funny. All right, so Christmas.
And it's all right, because it was a buffet.
Let's talk Christmas, or as Brian likes to call it, Yuletide.
Yuletide.
So,
Festivus.
I remember, like, being a little kid in Clawson, Michigan. Brian had gotten my mom a gift. And
my fucking story.
And he wrapped it up. Yeah, I like how you thought of that the minute I'm talking about it. And
it was the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of shady that your story is something that
a little bit of payback.
Yeah.
Okay, and Brian got my mom. It's totally about me anyway. It's not about him. Brian got my mom this gift, and I was a wee kid. I mean, I was probably like 5 or something,
Retarded, yeah.
and retarded and dumb. And my mom was in one of her was in a bad mood. And as a kid,
which was unusual.
You basically all you want is everybody to be happy. You don't care if pressing a nuclear bomb is going to destroy everyone in the Soviet Union.
Pretty colors.
You just want if you think that's going to make people happy, you'll go up and press the button because that's what a kid does. And so I got Brian's gift. And I tore it open and I gave it to her and I was like, "Look," I thought that was totally.
Look at Brian got you.
And Brian was like, "Mom," and she's like, "You go to your room," and I'm like, crying.
Yeah, she's spanked your ass. And then
what the fuck I did wrong?
What the hell's going on? I'm trying to make everybody happy.
You can't tell if there's a Santa Claus and then there's presents under the tree before Santa got there because then it's just like, wait, what? He's here? Let's tear this shit open.
That was always crazy, dude. Because when you and I were little kids, man, at that age, it was the slowest clock in the world. Because we wouldn't sleep. We would just sit there and watch every fucking minute just tick away, tick. Oh my God, this is killing me.
No, I think I was pretty much asleep. I do remember though that I remember when Santa Claus came to visit. And
Mom still has pictures of you shrieking.
Yeah, the worst thing is because everybody in the house gets all crazy. They're like, "He's here," and you're like, "What? Who's here?"
Take me away.
And the door opens and there's this loud voice, and you're just like, "Ah!" You're just afraid out of your mind. He wants to pick you up and stuff. Come here. You don't know who this guy is. He's gonna
stuff you in the sack.
Yeah, his mouth is gonna open. I eat children. No,
Yeah.
don't eat.
That's because we live in a house of
little boy.
Everything was gloomy and dark in that fucking house. All of a sudden, this bright red man came in the house. And, of course, Kevin, my brother and I were raised Catholic. So, red man comes in the house. We think it was Santa Claus. But if we took Santa and rearranged the letters, that's what we kind of thought was going on at first. And but we got some cool shit because I had that, sliding projector. You could put on the wall and use it, but I guess it didn't work. After this first time I used it.
We had all kinds of toys that never worked. We had a Pong system, it didn't work. We had these Star Trek walkie-talkies, it didn't work.
Yeah, that was great. We got police channels on it, so we couldn't use those anymore. And of course, we never got replacements.
Yeah, that was always the bullshit thing too. You would get something and it wouldn't work right.
It was awesome.
They'd take it back, and then there would be no extra nothing.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get
don't forget. It's no, we won't. We're kids.
Batteries.
No, you wouldn't get the toy back. You wouldn't get the exchange. You'd be like, my remote controlled R2D2 doesn't work. You'd be like, all right, we'll take it back, and then you get nothing. You're like, well,
we didn't take the money.
We didn't say we were giving you shit.
You didn't like it, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
My remote control R2D2. What happened to it? Well, you said it was broken, so I took it back to the store. They
would just mind control you, and then they start looking at you like they're going to get furious.
Yeah, you don't know how to argue things like that when you're a kid.
Little
you're just
do you know that they got it at the fucking thrift store, broken.
I don't fucking know what any of this means.
Kevin got a big Trek though. That was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that was.
He said that he would always reprogram it, so my dad would be half asleep in the chair watching TV, and the thing was roll up next to him. and it would turn towards him, and then he could like make it auto fire 99 times. Kevin, get in and turn this off.
It was
turn this off. God damn it!
A big track was a 6-wheeled toy, and it had a keypad on the back, and you could actually program it.
High tech.
For the 70s, it was pretty cool, and you could program it, and you could tell it to turn, go around corners and stuff, turn, fire, and it also had this little dump truck thing, and which was basically useless because it wasn't a wagon, so it was just like this. It was like a dump thing, and
it was
so
a way to like spread the toys around the house so the parents could
anything you put in it would just fall out anyway, unless it was like an army man or something. And basically, Brian would set up all the army men, and then he would just have the big truck crush all of them.
Yeah,
as that was his thing, and
overwhelming superiority.
Brian would make these ridiculous battlefids. Like you would come into like
room.
Yeah, you would come into like what essentially was like a dining room that was more like a stereo room because there was no dining room table in it, and there would just be like the whole wooden floor would just be covered with like Star Wars men, Army men, spaceships, and
giant GI Joes
just everywhere. And you're just like looking at this, and you're like, what is he doing with all this crap?
I'm glad it's not real because it would be fucked up.
It was like that.
I wouldn't just make like regular fighting noises, man. It wouldn't just be like bang, bah, 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 bah. I'd be like, it's not, die.
Yes,
die. Yeah.
No.
When you come from a very poor family where you don't have any electronic toys or batteries to power them, then you do make a lot of your own sound effects all the time. But that's just the way it is. Okay, so. Brian, did you have a Christmas memory?
Yeah, I remember, speaking to step families, so, like, we had our Christmas tree when we lived with them, and I think this might have been the one when he had moved back in Michigan, so it was kind of ratty at this point, it's just a tree. There was no Shazam to it whatsoever, man. It was just a fucking Christmas tree that we would decorate. Of course, I don't think my brother and I ever decorated. It was just like, we would just come home and there it would be, and it would be decorated. Like, well, we had family decoration days. Like, that's nice. I did not feel like I missed out on anything when it was that point. I was just like, good, you did something without me, and I was ignored. That's just how I like it.
I decorated that tree. Yeah,
did you?
Yeah, but
they didn't want me around. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they probably grounded you for it.
So it was like Christmas Eve, and my step grandparents came over. My brother mentioned before that they fucking red troll was in a maple tree. No, dude, that's funny. And then they came over, and they came back from Disneyland or some fucking place, and they brought in a brand new fucking tree with like all sorts of Disney decorations on it. It was just this giant white, brand new, just amazing fucking Christmas tree, and my dad was pissed.
Oh, was he upset about that?
Oh, yeah. They come in here and they fucking show off all their money and fucking...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I kind of remember
furious,
that now.
Dude. Like, we're trying to have our own Christmas, and they come in here and fucking
because
show everybody up.
As Brian was saying, it really, like, if you live in a normal house, it would just be like somebody bringing over a new Christmas tree with some ornaments on it. But to us, where everything we had was like secondhand and shit. Like, I'd be wearing like a wheel shirt from the 70s in the middle of the 80s type of thing.
Yeah. Yamaha t-shirts.
Somebody coming in cardigan sweaters carrying a big Christmas tree. Here you go! It was like, to all of us kids and stuff.
Here you go, bums!
And then it was like, okay, now we got to decorate it. And you're like, oh, fuck.
No, it came decorated.
Partially, yeah, but then we had to stick all our extra
I was just like,
broken balls of bullshit
like this
on
giant tree. What are we going to do with the other tree? Well, why don't we throw that away? Because that one's yucky. My dad just said it was smoke coming out of his ears. He's like, fucking tree.
Although, yeah, the tree Dad had those big-ass lights. Not the little thin lights. They had the big screw-on ones.
Yeah, I know. You couldn't touch them, and they were hot.
You melt tinsel on them and stuff, and a small flame.
Melt skin on them, man. You grabbed it the wrong way. It was just like, oh, my God, I'm on fire.
Take your fucking eyebrow off,
So, yeah, you get near the tree, and, like, you get a tan. It's, like, so hot and everything. You're like, woo.
That was something you made damn sure was unplugged that night. Like some people did today, you can leave your Christmas lights on. You couldn't do that back then. We had the old Christmas lights, dude, that looked like candles burning. And you were supposed to be able to put them on the tree, and it was just like you looked at them, and the plastic around the fucking light bulb was brown. Because the rest of it was white, and that part was brown because it was like ready to burn. It's like, is this really safe anymore?
I could just see the conversation too. Like Carolyn was probably like, well, my parents want to bring us a tree, and Dad was probably like, don't have them bring a tree over here. All right?
They jumped in, dude. They just showed up.
Yeah, and then they come with the tree anyway. That's probably why he was so
Oh, my God, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Anderson, Christmas?
Okay, well, now Christmas is celebrated across the ocean. So I do have some crazy kind of story, I guess. We didn't necessarily celebrate like a traditional Christmas. What we would do, right, is we'd what did I leave on?
Hello, John Anderson. Ah!
Anderson's getting
out of the ignition.
Guy just opened his door and shit. Oh,
while he's driving.
That's the car.
Listen, you can hear my shoe in the cement.
So whereas like most people, like their Christmas was wrapped presents under a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At night and stuff. We had a Christmas tree and we would set it up, but our presents would come unwrapped in a stack in front of the fireplace. A little bit different. I don't really know anybody who had that happen to them.
Wait, under the fireplace?
Not like in front of the fire.
On fire.
Remember my house in Lansing?
You had to grab them before they burned.
The ledge, the fireplace ledge type of thing that's jutted out from the fireplace, that thing, that area?
in front of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Plastic tree in front of the fireplace.
It was on the ground in front of that.
Mm-hmm.
Unwrapped.
Yeah.
And they'd just be in a big stack. But which was kind of cool because when you got up in the morning, you come downstairs and you're like, okay, Santa was here, and you come around that corner and you look and you're like seeing everything, you know what I mean? Whereas you're opening up a gift and you're looking at it going, oh shit, that's great. And you throw it to the side and you grab another one. This one, you see it all at one time and you just don't know what to do. You're just like, oh my God. You're just like, everything's right there. I can't, you know what I mean? So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's not your traditional.
At least it gets you out of the whole thing where, like, you would open a present and it would be something, like, you didn't want. You know, you're like, oh, this sucks. But, hey, thanks. Yeah, this is
you on the face.
This is just what I want. Oh, this is going to be so great. I'm just going to put it over here now. Never look at it again. But thank you. You know.
Yeah.
Please hope the next one's better than this. You know. Yeah.
I just think my parents were too lazy to wrap anything when I was younger, that's all.
I'm like that now.
But then the big change in Christmas came a couple years later. Of course, I don't know if everybody else did this, but I used to look at my gifts before, because my parents never wrapped them, so they were always just sitting in their closet.
Nobody caught us.
Well, right, that's why you do it when there's nobody home. And
when Dad lived with just our dad in Michigan, we found the presents in the closet the one time. We stared at them.
I used to do that.
But that just bums you out because you can't use them. You're like, fuck, I want it now. You know, and you got to wait like 2 months. You're like, God damn it.
Plan stuff. I saw that I had the Death Star coming and a Shogun Warrior at the same time, and I was like, oh my God, the things I'm going to do. Damn.
Yeah, but they're kind of gags now when you're going singing them songs and shit, you know.
You ever do that and not get
those today, huh?
You ever do that and not get one of the gifts, though? It like goes to like your cousin or something. You're like, wait.
Yeah.
What?
I thought that was mine. Oh, yeah, did you go look over your present?
Wait, you're giving the Death Star to who? What? How'd you know there was a Death Star in that box? I don't. You know.
Christmas Eve night, we were allowed to open
scarf.
One of our gifts, so you run downstairs, yelling, I'm opening the Death Star first. Oh, shit. Wait.
I mean, the big one. I'm opening the big one. But the most memorable part of Christmas for me was this one Christmas, it was over, and my dad's like, okay, take the Christmas tree down. We took the Christmas tree down, and he says, all right, take it out to the street and throw it. And we always had an artificial tree. And he goes, throw it out. And I looked at him, and I'm like, I was like 10 or 11 maybe, I don't know. I'm like, what? And he goes, throw it out. And I was like, well, what about a Christmas tree for next year? He goes, we'll buy a new one. I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. So I threw it out. And then Christmas rolled up next year, and I was like, Dad, we got to buy that tree. And he's like, yeah, we're not buying a tree. So then we stopped having Christmas trees. Mm-hmm. It was basically Christmas off the mantelpiece, and that was it.
Bah humbug. All right, cool.
Well, bah humbug. We still celebrate. I mean, we had presents in front of the fireplace every morning, but
sit around singing.
Probably a lot happier without having to fucking decorate that thing.
Welcome Christmas.
Larry?
Christmas is my most vehemently detested holiday.
So you should have some really good shit.
Not really. I don't celebrate it anymore, except enough to make my kids not be axe murderers. All my Christmases, well, no, because it's just a bad holiday for me. All my Christmases when I was younger, we would go. We had my dad has like 918 brothers and sisters in his family, so we would always have our Christmas Eve get together with the family out at one of the aunts, and we were always allowed to. Afterwards, we would come back and we would open our one. My sister and I could open one Christmas present, and surprisingly, the clearest memory I have of any single present was my Death Star.
Why would you want to remember anything else? I mean,
yeah,
it's class.
I never had a Death.
And so I was like, why are you picking that one to open? It's like, well, because I have one great big giant box that's almost as big as me, and then some other shit under the tree. Which one did you think I was going to open? But
You ever do that, get a gift, and just like walk off with it and leave all the other fucking gifts like forgotten?
you don't
get the shit look from the pair. Like, what about the gift I got you?
You got to open this one from Grandma. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Grandmas are always the worst.
Big fucking sweater, all knitted.
She made that herself.
You gotta wear it to school the next fucking week. It's like 1,000 fucking degrees. It's itchy.
Yeah, the week after
Christmas, it's from some foreign country.
It's 1,000 fucking degrees.
Dude, it's like from some foreign fucking country. You just look retarded in it, You're like, what the hell's that? It's like, my grandma had to wear it. Like,
You ever get a gift and then break it the first day, but nobody, like I had it happen to me, I broke it, like, fuck, and I had to hide it.
Yeah, you can't say, oh,
yeah.
I just destroyed this, I'm sorry.
I told you not to play with it so fucking hard.
Because the parents have had, like, my dad probably had like 4 or 5 beers at that point and stuff, and it's like 1 minute happy, next minute red face with a hand slap, Look, Dad, I broke this. What'd you do that for? Go to your room.
Yeah, getting punished on the holidays is the absolute shittiest fucking thing that can happen to you. Because especially on a holiday like Christmas, where you're supposed to be all lighthearted and stuff, and they're supposed to be like, supposed to be all happy and stuff, and all of a sudden, like a parent is like bellowing at their child, and the child runs, crying in their room or whatever. That just especially if you're an adult too. Like Kevin said, over somebody else's house, and they're just like, go to your room. And you're just like, you're not there, like you don't know them, you're a guest.
Yeah.
Like,
there's 2 kids at the house, you and the other kid gets grounded and sent to his room. So then, awkward.
Taken into the back room and beaten.
You're just standing there like, fuck, now what do I do,
Yeah, my next.
You go watch the Scrambled Playboy channel and try to make shit out on it. Is that a boob? I don't. All right. Larry, were you done?
Yeah, I don't really have anything for Christmas.
Okay. Cease.
Oh, good.
The next one we're going to talk about after Christmas is, hold on, I just lost it.
Easter?
No, it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, God.
Oh, great.
Cease Christmas. We'll start thinking of one now while you got an opportunity.
Oh, I got one for that.
All right, well, cease Christmas,
Christmas, I remember when I was like, probably like 4 years old. I remember one time, my parents were trying to brush me off into the room and shit, because they're bringing in gifts and stuff, and they're like, just stay in there. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? They didn't have a lock on the door, so they're like my dad would put his foot in front of the door, because they're bringing in gifts and shit.
You're in there, the others have
so after a while, they let me out. And I'm like, where's my brother and sister? They're like, oh, they're in the room, they're doing something. So I go in there, I'm like, I open the door, I'm like, what are you doing? All my gifts are like laying out, and they're grabbing. Get the fuck out of here! Like, I don't know, what the fuck, So I saw everything I got that year, I was like, all right, I was all cool.
Like, you're in there for like 2 seconds, and your brain is like made a complete photographic memory of everything in the room, Yeah.
Yeah, I remember everything. I was like, yes,
You're like that scene in fucking Blade Runner where he's like taking the picture and just disassembling it to try to find little clues and where the fuck everything's hidden, going around corners. Go by 20 by 40.
Yeah.
What is that? That looks like.
So my brother like slams the door in my face, and I go flying the hallway. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not going in there. So I had to wait a week after that. And I knew everything I got, so I was driving my parents crazy. Wait, is it Christmas? They're like, shut up, goddammit, Fucking, and then Christmas Eve comes, and my parents get fucking ripped every Christmas Eve, and like the music's like blaring, and all the old shit, and fucking they finally send me to bed, and it's like. And then they wake me up like 2 hours later. Yeah, Santa Claus here, Santa Claus here. I'm like, I'm running out. I'm like, I got, I'm up there, and there's a fireplace. And I'm like, I look at my parents. I'm like, there ain't no Santa Claus. He ain't gonna get through no guy start fire. You know, they're like, yeah, he was here with him. Like, after that, I didn't believe in Santa Claus because, like, I didn't believe he can go through fire. So,
oh, you got a whole bunch of like, shit. You're all like, fuck you. There's no Santa.
Yeah,
you're lying to me.
There's a Santa. Yeah. Well, I'm like, so they wake me up for all this shit, and they give me this like you can open one gift. I'm like, all right. They just hand it to me. It ended up being this like egg-shaped like lion with like tires on it. I was like absolutely horrible, like the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm like, you woke me up for this? I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm like, all right, I'm going back to bed. So I went back to bed, and I got another one.
Lucky they didn't strangle you.
Go around.
Okay, Brian, did you have another?
Go around again. I'll do it.
Brian, do you have another Christmas story?
I just remembered when we were with the step family, I got my first radio. It was like one of those tape recorder with the one speaker on the side. It wasn't like your old-fashioned type from the office where, like, you know, it was like the lay-down kind. This one was like the first partial boom box. So I like had it on record because they gave me a bunch of blank tapes. And I was like, oh, cool, which means 3. And I walked through the room, and they were like in the kitchen, and they were like arguing with each other. And then my dad caught me recording. He's like, "All right, we're gonna take this from you if you keep doing this." And he erased it. So like all you heard in the tape was my dad yelling at me for like recording their previous conversation when they were yelling at each other. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I tried to put a tape recorder on record underneath the couch, and I got busted doing that too. Yeah. You know, completely not wise. To
there were times in my life where we were living with our stepfamily, we did kind of deserve getting beaten occasionally because
See, the worst thing was like what would happen is that we would be sent to our room, which was upstairs, and you would basically. There would be no punishment yet. You would just go up there and be like in like a prison cell, and the door could be open, but it would remind you of one of those like prison cells in like Star Trek or something, where like it might as well just have like a magnetic force field in front of it because you could not step. Yeah, you could not step outside of it, and so you would just sit there and wait, and then after like a few hours, you just hear some bone cracks coming up the stairs.
Yeah,
that would be like our father just. Because it's just his bones would always just pop and crack.
So yeah, his feet would just like crack. Every fucking bone is being like. He's
like,
oh shit, here he comes.
He's like, oh fuck, you know. And then he would just come in, and
he never stomped though. That's just it. Like some parents, they get mad and they want you to know that shit's about to come smashing into your door. They stomp on the floor to let you know that they're pissed. My dad would never do that. He would always like creep across the floor, and then your door would like, and then he was in there like, what's going on?
It would be like a 30-minute conversation, and then like a really generous. Is the way to say it, punishment. Like,
speech.
Grounded for like a month or something over some itty-bitty thing. And you just be like, and grounded meant no TV, no going outside. Basically, you're in your basically you're in your room unless you got your paper out.
Everybody else's chores.
And you do extra chores. It was
and they were never good chores. It was like, go out and weed the garden. We never grew anything in that fucking garden.
Fucking horrible. Yeah.
Never.
We didn't.
And she would give you a spoon, and you were sent out there into the blazing hot fucking Vietnam.
It was a knife. It was a dull butter knife and a pair of like gloves that were useless against the thorns that were on the weeds. And we couldn't.
For some odd reason,
they're trying to get you set up to dig your way out of fucking jail.
You couldn't cut. You weren't allowed to just pull the weed or cut it. You had to dig into the dirt.
And there was
to get the root out. Yep. Yes.
You missed a spot,
which was pointless. It was so fucking dumb. And
Dad, one time, biggest argument right there. This is pointless. I remember that shit.
It was fucking horrible.
You hate that more than anything. Why am I doing this?
We would have to rake the yard, right? Okay, and
it made a certain amount of sense.
We had like 3 shitty steel rakes that were fucking horrible, and we had 1 big plastic rake that was great. Okay, now when you imagine yourself raking a yard, you're raking up the leaves that are on the yard. Okay, we had to rake until every little leaf bit. If it was bigger than a centimeter,
it was leaf-like.
Yeah, if it looked kind of like a leaf, you would have to keep raking it. And so, like, I don't know how the grass survived because we would just sit there and be like,
"What the fuck? Did your parents take my parents 101 or something?"
Dude,
God,
it was so bad.
Dude, it was like one time my dad was out there in that fucking garden with the rototiller.
Yeah,
he's out there with like no shirt, but he's like wearing brown slacks and like his work shoes. And it was like me and my older stepbrother, and we're looking out there, and my older stepbrother looks at me and goes, I think your dad's going to have a heart attack, man. And because my dad was like really, really fucking white, and you could see the sweat coming off him. And he's like, why is he doing that? And I'm like, I don't know.
It was horrible because we never did use the garden. He did rototiller for one time. It was, we buried dead butterflies and shit that the girls would find. Be like, I gotta give a burial for it.
Yeah, cat shit went out there.
Fucking dumb. All right, anyway. Anderson, did you have another
not too bitter
Christmas story?
Hold on a second. I just came walking in the house. Come back to me.
All right, Larry, did you have any more Christmas story? No. Don Cease?
I always knew it was Christmas time in my house in North because I had a couple of cats, and one of them was this orange cat. His name was Louie, and I knew it was Christmas time because he'd be running around with a fucking string of tinsel out of his ass and balls of shit bouncing behind him. My old man be chasing him around. God damn it, you got her in a tree. Good. Fucking, he grabbed the cat, start pulling the shit out, just like freaking out. Jesus Christ, get rid of this thing.
Cease had two cats, and you would never see the one. It was always just like, was that Louie, the one that always hid? You just never see it.
No, the kitty, the one that hit the nut job.
Yeah, the cat just didn't exist or something. It was just in his house, and you just, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, you'd be creeping and playing hide and seek through the house, and all of a sudden you just like see it right behind you. Like, Jesus Christ, where the fuck you come from? You know, haven't seen it in 3 months. You know.
Oh my God!
The only reason you know it's living because it would shit in the fucking litter box. That would be about it.
Let's see. Anderson, are you ready? No, Donnie.
No, I got nothing else. I mean, just saying. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, one time we had this thing at the elementary school where you could go in and you could buy like crafts and shit, and
Santa's workshop.
So yeah, something like that, right? And we got like a little bit of money to go buy our relatives presents, right? And as well as brothers and sisters and shit, because we just have to kind of went to the school or whatever. And so you get like $20 or something, and you would have to like calculate in your head like how you were going to break this up to buy like 18 people a gift. And so
it had to be good because, God forbid if you bought them something shitty, your head was on the block.
So you just like walk around and I always fucked up. I always forgot to get somebody something. So like there's like that time where you're like, well, give your next gift to somebody, and you're like, oh fuck, I wonder if they're going to notice that I didn't get them shit.
They did.
No, they didn't, because it was just like, if it was our immediate family, they would. But if it was like, Uncle Nick or something, he wouldn't know, because at some point you're just getting buried with crap anyway,
It was pretty good when they're like, okay, you just get some money, you get one person you're going to buy shit from. But it would like, they would give everybody money, and then like our step family would just like steal shit and then give it to the other person and then just pocket the cash.
Sometimes,
you had to like ask, you had to like, well, what do you want? Like, it's supposed to be a secret. It's just like, look, don't be dumb.
Yeah, like Joe would come up.
Fucking read your mind. What the hell do you want?
Joe would go, so listen, I'm going to get you and your brother something at the same time. What do you guys want? Brian's like, I want Genesis, 3 sides live. I'm like, I don't want Genesis, man. And Joe's like, look, I'm just going to get you. I'm just going to get you guys.
No, Kevin got the. No, I got.
No. And then you got you Genesis, 3 sides live, and then I would take one of the records. And I'd be like, this is my record. You're not getting it.
Yeah.
It's my half.
Just to be a little fucker.
Right. It's my half of the gift.
Fucking sides live.
You've got to ask me permission before you can play my half of the record. Brian's like, fuck you. Give me the record
was
back.
Like shit I'd never heard, and I was completely fucking crazy about that band back in the day. And I'm like, dude, you got to give me that. He wasn't like a complete dick about it. He was just like, all right, here.
Well, after a while, I wouldn't, give him.
Because he wanted to hear.
It
was like mellow shit.
Just the kind of shit.
I actually got I got a video when they performed recently in Italy, like when they had the last tour they went on, and I'm like, the whole time I knew they were going on tour for the last. I'm like going, fuck, man, I wish I had the money to go together, maybe go to Paris and see them, some shit like that, dude. I'm so glad I didn't go. It was like 5 or 6 really old men who just did not want to be in the same room together, just fucking performing. It's like, And we weren't even playing like really good songs. They were just like going through the motions. It was
no, I mean if you were really going to go,
the show would still kick ass.
If you were going to go see, but if you were really going to go see Genesis, you would have saw him with Gabriel back in the day because that was.
Don't be that guy, dude. That's such a hippie fucking thing. Like I only like Genesis.
No. I'm not saying the music. I'm just saying the whole stage show and everything.
Dude, they were always really well known for their lights. I saw them at the arena, like at the old football stadium. But it was like we were like up there like passing around an oxygen mask and shit.
Don't be that guy, dude. I can't listen to Genesis anyway. I don't know what I mean, some of it, but I mean, it's like I can't tell the difference between the Peter Gabriel shit and the Phil Collins crap. I don't know. You would have all these weird albums like Duke, and then there were 3 and stuff, and you'd be like, here, let's listen to this. I don't even know what I was listening to. You had like 20 Genesis albums. The Genesis, the Police, and
yeah. Well, the Police is understandable. They were really good.
Yeah, but you wouldn't play the songs that everybody would know. You would be playing like these. I
play the whole
songs.
album, dude. I know. I'm sorry, I wasn't a fucking radio station where I would just constantly pump out the fucking shit.
I don't know.
They played on the radio. Remember, there was like
playing.
We had a radio station.
Alien and
he would play that one a lot. That's
Mama was like endless.
No, I had the extended version. Shit, I had to listen to for hours and hours.
Yeah, Mama would go on for like 30 minutes.
Well, at least Summer's Ready made some kind of sense. Some of those songs about like the fish swimming around and shit.
Defend that fucker to the
God damn
that fucking thing.
What?
No, you like Summer's Ready. Don't act like you didn't like it. All right, so let's talk about.
What?
Oh, we lost Larry.
This trick ain't gonna work on me. No.
Yeah, Larry's back, by the way.
Yeah, Brian, I see that. Okay, let's move on to Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a week after my birthday.
That's actually, yeah.
Which is a crappy holiday. One of the things I hate about, like, you go through these big holidays, you get Thanksgiving, then you get Christmas, then you get New Year's, and then there's nothing between then and, like, the 4th of July or something. I mean, you get
Memorial Day, isn't there?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. But yeah, but I mean,
why? Nothing happens.
I can't remember anything of
not a real holiday.
I'm drunk at a picnic somewhere.
And so you got this Valentine's Day in the middle of ice, freezing cold, fucking February, and I don't really have too many memorable Valentine's Day stories.
Because, come on! No little grade school Valentine's nightmare. Come on.
No, not really. I'll try to think of one while we go around, but this is one area where I'm completely blank on. I don't have anything that I can recall that anything that happened during a Valentine's Day, good or bad. I mean, it's always been a holiday that it's too cold to do anything, and you go get the girls like dinner or fucking flowers or something, and all the prices of everything are way fucking high.
Yeah, back in the 80s, dude, it was like for a dozen roses, it was $50. It was like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Flowers? They're going to be dead in a week.
Oh, yeah, and a week later,
you can crumble them up
same flowers
like,
for $20.
Oh, my God. Oof,
You can't really negotiate it and shit. You can't be like,
no.
look, can we just go out later or something?
No, what's worse is that you go to get, like, roses, and they don't have any red ones, so you buy white ones, and they get, like, whoever you're dating is like, well, why'd you get white? That means we're just friends.
Yeah.
Like, next time I'm just going to get fucking daisies out of my goddamn front fucking by the garage. Goddamn whiner.
Brian, I can't see you buying flowers for anybody. It probably happens.
I buy flowers for my girlfriend all the time, but I don't do it on holidays. I just do it whenever, And she likes carnations and
I can see you just walking up to the counter at the florist and stuff and having the woman go, "We don't keep big bills in the register." And
press the little red button back on the table. Click.
Bell just goes up. They run into the safe room and shit. What? I'm just here to make an order for
behind the glass in the fucking refrigerator.
The big giant panic room door slides shut.
Or they just
it's like that scene in The Fifth Element when the girl just like slides down underneath the ground, all of a sudden a bunch of bars come down and point guns at my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just wanted to know how much the flowers are.
Or it's like that really terrible episode of Star Trek, the original series, where the plant turns and shoots darts into your chest. And you just collapse.
Ensign Baird's dead.
Well, Brian, do you have a Valentine's Day story?
I remember. It's real quick, but first Heather, I was in love with her back in high school, my first girlfriend, and I don't know how many fucking of you dudes have done this stupid bullshit where you go up to Things Remembered, and you get that goddamn locket, When you put your name on one half and their name on the other, and you get that whole package deal. Isn't that nice? That fucking thing costs like an arm and a leg. But I took paper out money, which I didn't really have. Went up there, had it done. And I have a picture somewhere around her when I gave it to her. And she was all like smiling, all huge, really happy to get it. And then 6 months later, she was giving it back to me, telling me that she didn't want it anymore because she liked somebody else. Like that covers fucking every high school relationship right fucking there.
Well, you had some bad high school relationships, or was that your entire high school relationships there with the one?
That was pretty much the entire fucking thing, man. It was just like Valentine's Day was like one of those holidays where you were either going to pull it off or it was going to be an epic fail.
Okay.
Because in high school, man, that's not a fucking holiday you forget. You know, Sweetest Day and shit. They sell flowers in the school. Like, you want to buy your girlfriend a flower? Like, I gotta fucking. And then they had like, what was the one where like you could buy flowers like a secret thing?
Yeah.
You know, like somebody would just come to you, and then they would give you a flower, and you're like, who's this from? I'm like, well, I can't tell you. It's anonymous. And like all day, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my god.
You could actually spend your $5 to send $5 to send a flower to a girl, and then
it was a carnation, man. It was like some.
And then she'd blow some other guy because she thought it was from him.
No, dude, I got one time, and the whole time I thought it was like maybe one girl, another girl, and I found like dudes just goofing on me. Like, dude, no, we bought it. We didn't want you to feel bad. I was like, you assholes.
That's awesome.
I guess thanks. Right. You know, I'm like, what can I say? It's like, well, yeah.
There's always that one chick walking down the hallway with like 100 of them. Yeah, shut up.
We actually had that when I worked at Stouffer's. That actually happened at Stouffer's, and I remember Dan Rossi got one, and he the whole night nobody ever came forward. Somebody bought him a fucking flower, like a rose or something, and he was like, he thought it was this one girl, and he asked her and stuff, and she's like, no.
That's the worst. You get from some chick that's like hideous,
embarrassing.
It's the one you're hoping it is, but no.
It's like whoops. But yeah, nobody ever came forward as far as I know. That's weird. Anderson, Valentine's Day.
I remember my very first. I don't know if I don't know if I've ever told these stories, but my first foray into the Valentine's Day for school, for kindergarten or first grade. I can't remember which one it was, but the teacher's like, everybody's got to, don't forget Valentine's Day. Get Valentine's Day cards for everybody. And my mom went out and got me Valentine's cards for the class, and I started going through them, and I'm putting kids' names on there and stuff. And I'm like, Mom, I'm going to run out of these. And my brother comes over and he goes, what do you mean you're going to run out of those? And I'm like, well, I only got like half the class done. And he starts looking, he goes, you're putting boys' names on here. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's boys in the class. I'm supposed to get cards. You're a kid. You don't fucking know. You're just like, hey, I get cards for everybody. And he's like, no, you don't. You just get cards for girls. And I was like, really? And
he's like, yeah. You do that in my school. All the little Valentine's I got were the ones he said.
He's like, why do you want to just give cards? He goes, why do you want to give cards to boys? And I'm like, because they're giving them to me. And he's like, no, you're giving them to the girls. So I redid everything, and I had enough because I just did cards for girls. And so I went to class the next day. All the names up. Class the next day, and I started walking. They line you up and they put those paper bags on your little desk or on the back of your chair or whatever. You're supposed to walk by and just pop them in. Well, I'm walking through the line, and I'm like, skip, skip, drop, skip, drop, drop, skip, skip, drop, drop, skip, skip, drop. And everybody's looking around like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And all the boys started crying, and it wasn't a great scene. The teacher's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what? And she's like, you only brought cards for girls? And I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's
you supposed to? Yeah, she's like, who told you that? Like, my brother?
I ain't no homo.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, lady.
Dude, I almost got cards because it said, you're weird, happy Valentine's Day. I'm like, who the fuck made a card that said that shit? Or it had like outer space stuff because everybody's like, you're from outer space. I was like, that's great. Thanks for like traumatizing me on a fucking holiday about like, love.
Yeah, the card says, happy Valentine's Day.
No, because I got to show it to my parents later, dude. I had to show it to my parents later. It was fucking horrible.
So here you go.
They're
just like, what does this mean? What does this mean you're weird? And my dad be like, and Jake is like, my father's a failure.
Like it's some personal slight to him.
Okay, I got to call Jason because he finally got back to me, so I'm going to add him in really quick, and I didn't want to do it because it rings his phone. So let's go ahead and add him, and then we'll continue. So, Larry, you be thinking of your story because you're next.
Okay.
You're next.
So you at the gay disco, Jason? What's going on?
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1
Hey, give me
for
a
more
call,
options.
but I'm not going to answer, so fuck you.
Okay, you got to answer the call, dude. That's how it works. When we call you, you got to answer your phone. And way to go with the call. Way to go with the gay music that you got playing in the background.
That was Judas Priest. The hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Dare you?
Okay, what?
Rob Halford and his assless chaps.
Yeah.
Telling me what I got coming. I'll pass.
You could have been, dude. It would only have been gay. It only would have been gay if you would have been singing "Eat Me Alive." That song. It's like,
I don't know.
You want to sing along with it, but you start thinking about where that song's coming from, and you're like, just turn this.
I want him leaving no taste in my mouth.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna call him back, and then we'll hear that again, and then if he doesn't answer, then I'll just text him. Can't get enough of that Judas Priest.
Oh my God! Why would you ever put that in your ring?
That's him singing, isn't it?
He actually answered.
At the tone, please record your message.
All right, I'm just hanging up. All right, I'll text him. This is out of control.
Larry, just call in.
This is your crack team at work. Everybody at home listening.
Yeah, we're not paid to provide this show, so don't expect quality at any time. Larry, go ahead with your Valentine's Day story if you have one.
Actually, it's not specifically a Valentine's Day, but it's inspired by Brian's. With this stupid little heart necklace that you get half, she gets half, and because I'm lerpy and gay, my stepdad at one point he like built himself a race car, so he had all sorts of crazy ass tools in his garage, and he actually had one of those etching things. So I went the extra step of etching our names into the back of it myself, which of course looked like complete ass. So I had never used the thing before, so the letters were all crooked and stuff, and like it didn't quite fit right, so I had to like bend my name around a little bit on the end. So there's one of my homo moments. Actually, despite all the fun that everybody enjoys having with me and Cindy, for the last 4 years, I think Valentine's Day has been the site of every one of our major fights. So
work on that.
Yeah, see, I told you it's either a complete success or it's an epic fail.
Yeah, it's always a disaster.
Cease.
All right, I got one from elementary. I think it was in third grade. Yeah, I think it was third grade. Everybody piled up, got their shit together. Got all mine in there, and they taped all the bags up on the front row, on the chalkboard ledge there. And everybody's going through, and they're like, trying, and the girls are like, they're hiding their shit, putting it in there, blah, blah, blah. Go through the whole class, we all sit down. They're like, and then the teacher would grab the bag and give it to everybody. So she ripped one off at a time, and where's Bobby, where's Susie, and all that shit. We go through all that crap. Set it on her desk, she goes, okay, everybody open them up. I open them up, and I get one fucking Valentine with no fucking name on it.
It's from your teacher because she realized you didn't get any and felt bad.
Something. I'm like, what the fuck, really?
Was it from
God, now you know where all my hidden anger comes from. It's fucking Valentine's.
Was it from a dude?
There you go. You got my secret. What?
Was it from a dude?
No name, no nothing.
Oh. So nobody came forward.
No one fucking gave me a name or nothing. So I'm like, went home crying to my mom.
That's the shittiest feeling in the world. And everybody else is just like getting bombed with some sort of holiday where getting trinkets or whatever, and you're getting nothing. You're like, look, I didn't expect to be Captain Popular, but goddamn, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was like. What the fuck? They're like, everybody look at me like, dude, you know? You got one with no name? That's cold. So it made me feel even worse.
Did you guys ever get a Valentine from somebody, like in the sense that somebody wanted to go out with you at any point? Did it ever happen to anybody? Like, did you ever get one and be like, you know?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Larry? Are you kidding? Or?
Yeah. No. In grade school, you never got, like, the Valentines from some chick who
wanted to date me? No.
Oh, Larry.
Really?
Obviously, if I only got one with no name on it, I probably wouldn't have gotten another one with it. Said
Okay, that was one given year, dude.
Yeah, that was 1 year.
I mean,
right.
unless the gist of your story is that your entire time in grade school, you got one anonymous Valentine, in which case I do truly feel sorry for you.
I don't think I was really popular back then.
You figure I was the popular kid in my school? Look at me.
You're like, no one else got one. I'm like, no.
Although I was jaded because even in grade school, I was like, oh my God, it's a Valentine. She wants to go out with me. Who's it from? Oh.
Of her. Oh, hideous girl.
Now, in the Cleveland area and also are basically around the Great Lakes, we have an additional holiday that is not celebrated in any other part of
in the known world.
Yeah, anywhere else in the known world, yet we're bombarded by it. And it is effectively identical to Valentine's Day, what in the sense of a man's responsibility to recognize it or be shunned.
How holiday is that?
And that would be Sweetest Day.
Oh, we don't fucking do that shit.
Oh, well, okay, Brian.
I've never done that in our relationship here. It's pretty cool.
That's not that surprising coming from you. But
you mean like in high school? Yeah. Then it was a big goddamn deal. Now you get older.
Sweetest Day.
I don't remember Sweetest Day in high school.
Yeah,
October.
Sweetest Day has grown in popularity over the years, and
they're trying to sell shit.
Yeah, it's mostly a marketing holiday. People call it the American Greetings holiday. Sometimes you hear Hallmark holiday. Because supposedly it was created by those companies. It actually wasn't. There's a history of it on Wikipedia. It explains where it came from. But it is designed to sell more bullshit cards and Vermont teddy bears.
I think the Wikipedia is wrong. I think that's why we only have it here, because this is where American Greetings is located.
No, it's not actually, Justin. It's not actually from Cleveland. It's from other. I think it's like Indiana or Illinois or something. I know it probably came from like a tribe of Indians or something, and then it like came to Cleveland.
Down with the whiteys.
Yeah, we're completely annihilated with this holiday, and all right, I'm going to try to get Jason on here again really quick.
You got another thing?
Yeah, here we go. It's going to be Judas Priest. They'll just keep changing songs.
It'd be pretty cool if I kept changing different Judas Priest songs.
Yeah, right.
Your turbo
Swedish Day.
lover.
Swedish Fish Day.
I like that song, but man, after the song, I'm like, God.
Jesus.
What the fuck is that?
It's Robo Jason.
that was Korberg being eaten by zombies while trying to answer the phone.
He was replaced.
What's up, fellas?
What's up,
man?
brother?
Oh, man.
We're talking about Valentine's Day. You wouldn't happen
finally dig yourself out of your crate or something? What the hell?
Yes. You wouldn't happen
I dug myself out of my 6-foot grave, and I am alive to the world for the moment.
We're talking about Valentine's Day and Sweetest Day. You wouldn't happen to have a story that you could share regarding either topic, would you?
Well, to be honest with you, no.
Okay. You know, because people were talking about, did you ever get a bunch of girls asking you out when you got your Valentines in elementary school? That ever happened to you?
No,
I know. Of course
I got beat up in elementary school.
All the time? Even on Valentine's Day?
All the time.
Every single day.
And then I was brought into Kevin Baird's wing, and I was protected and hindered from the world. But anyways, yes, no.
Okay, we're putting Anderson back, and I think he's going to be on Skype now, so. Now we'll be able to tell the difference between Cease and Anderson, which will be good.
One of these things is not.
It's a good thing, because I tried to turn this computer on, and it ain't coming out.
I got echo. I got echo.
Yeah, you
I heard it.
Huh?
Hello?
What?
Right.
Orbit gets on, everything gets all fucked up.
No, it's Anderson.
We're in the labyrinth.
Okay, cool.
No, it doesn't echo.
So, yeah, I don't think you guys have any Sweetest Day stuff, so... You guys have any other comments about Sweetest Day? Nobody want to drop a Sweetest Day thing or anything?
I don't have a Sweetest Day, but I have a Valentine's Day story.
Okay, Anderson.
Wait a minute, I got one.
Okay, hold on. Anderson, go ahead.
Stupid.
Anderson, go with your go
first. So like you said, it's your birthday, then it's Valentine's Day, and then my birthday's the week after. This Valentine's Day, I was dating this girl, and I went out and I got her like this really nice earring set and like necklace and all this shit. And I go over, and it was the night of this. Or no, that wasn't that night. That was the next week. And I went over to her place, and I'm like, "Happy Valentine's Day." She's like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And I was just like, "I got you a gift."
This is gonna work out well.
Yeah, I've been dating this girl for over a year and stuff, and I'm like, "I got you a gift. Here you go." And she opens it up. She goes, "Oh, thanks." She puts it down.
Yeah, fail.
Hey, who else is doing it?
I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "Did you get me anything?" She's like, "Nah." It's like, okay.
Oh,
man.
I'm like, okay, fair enough. So, I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and leave.
I see ya.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and leave then if that's all right. She's like, that's cool. I was like, all right. And then like, and then the following week on my birthday, she's like, yeah, I think we need to stop seeing each other. I was just like, well, I'm glad I didn't. But then to kind of try to throw it in back at her, I was like, oh, well, it's a good thing I didn't buy that ring like I wanted to, which I wasn't planning on doing. But
she's looking at you like, you're bullshit. I know you're broke.
Right? She's like, whatever, pizza man.
I know because I've gotten that look. So
she's like, go smoke another one, pizza man.
What's your roommate Clint doing? No, all right, I don't know.
What?
No, it's a joke. Like you were living with Clint, and never mind, forget it.
Oh, right, gay man. I was at that time.
Okay, Cease, you had another one?
Yeah, I was another dumbass move. What the heck? I think I was still living with my parents. I was like, I had to move back in with my parents after you moved.
Right.
From Broadview Heights. And I was friends with these other people, and they met me. They told me to meet this one chick. And we went out once, and then it was like Sweetest Day. So I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'll make you a dinner. We're both like, we're not old enough to like really, I don't know if we're old enough to sit at the bar yet. Well, nonetheless, my parents were out of town. I'm like, here, I'll cook you this dinner and shit. Sweetest Day, meet me here, blah, 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 So I go out and I get all this stupid shit and make this, like, lasagna dinner. And I'm not a fucking cook. So I get, like, the noodles and shit and whatever, some Chef Boyardee fucking, and fucking try to make this thing.
Oh, my God, dude, really?
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. And I made this this vegetable plate thing with like
the fucking banners.
And I made it look like a tree with candies in it for like fruit. It was kind of cool.
That's great.
It's still in the shape of a can.
I went through all this shit, and then she comes over.
You can see the rings on the side and shit.
What did I miss?
Anyways,
it gets good. It gets better. So anyways, she comes over and we eat this dish. She goes, "Oh, nice job on the Chef Boyardee."
Oh, man.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, trying to play it off. She goes, "These are Chef Boyardee noodles." I'm like, "Oh, they are not."
How the hell would she know?
Totally.
They were shaped. They were shaped like SpongeBob.
They had like little curly cues. So she's like, but I like your little tree thing there. It's kind of cool. I'm like, all right. So I'm saving throw there, I'm like trying to get that up. And then I'm like, we're sitting out in her car. And I'm like, we're like talking, get along and stuff, and we start kissing and stuff. So I grab her boob and she fucking flipped out on me. Fucking drove off. That was it. Never heard from her again. I'm like, oh, well.
I went to this guy's house and maybe Chef Boyardee. I wish she tells that story to everybody.
Oh, God.
That's fucking funny, dude.
It is pretty good.
I never tried to pull that one off. All right, let's do real quick some show notes. This show is probably going to, I know for a fact now it's going to take too long. So in Next week, we're going to have Video Game News Radio, and if you want to get that show or these shows and subscribe to them, go to videogamenews.com, and the first post on the front page will tell you how to subscribe to this and our other shows. And we run Midwest Wasteland every other week, and that is between Video Game News Radio. So next Sunday, we'll be recording Video Game News Radio. This show will be followed by Cleveland Sports Radio tonight, unless Larry dies of an aneurysm while we're recording.
We'll still fucking do it.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks, we will be doing another Midwest Wasteland, and we'll be doing Holidays Part 2 in order to cover all the holidays that we have. And then 2 weeks after that, we will be doing our military episode. I talked to Bailey, and for some reason he's going down south for a little while, and he won't be back in 2 weeks. So it'll be 4 weeks. And then we'll be recording the military episode. So Brian's going to bring all his monkey stories for us, and Larry's going to tell us about how he never really was in the military. And
I've been lying all these years.
The show is on Libsyn. It is still on Libsyn. That's actually how you get the show. If you want Midwest Wasteland, it is at the letter M as in Mike, www.libsyn, that's LIBSYN.com. And if you want Video Game News Radio, that's at vgn.libsyn.com. So, and then there's a whole bunch of other ones. But again, first post on the front page tells you how to get all the shows. Okay. So let's move along. Did anybody else have any more Valentines, or are we done with that?
No, I'm pretty well done with that shit. Most of my Valentine's Day is just kind of ended up being, fucking begging for sex. And feeble attempts at getting laid, which, back in high school, that just wasn't going to happen.
Okay, so let's move along to Independence Day.
What about Easter?
4th of July?
Easter's on there, man. Yes, 4th of July. There's a lot of holidays, Brian. Why don't you name another one? How about Arbor Day? Okay, yeah. I know. There's other holidays, but we're talking about Independence Day.
Hey, Canadians, yay!
So think your Independence Day stories.
The aliens came and wiped out Earth. That was awesome.
I once had a blind date, basically, with a girl, and it was on the 4th of July. For some reason, I have a lot of blind dates on holidays. I've had blind dates on Christmas. I've had blind dates on New Year's Eve. And I had a blind date on Independence Day. And she wanted to go to see fireworks, so we went to, in Lakewood. They have them in the park there off of Lake Road. And it's basically on the lake. And it's the wrong place to see fireworks. People always say you should go to Edgewater, you should go to the lake, you should see fireworks.
See shit, dude.
It's too windy.
Plus, at Edgewater, you're on the risk of getting stabbed.
Yeah, it's too windy.
Or stepping on a heroin needle.
And so when the fireworks are going off, they're going up into the air, and then they're coming straight towards you, and you're just like, oh!
Try to get them to land on the park, because if they land on the lake, it might ignite.
And it looks like a World War I battlefield.
Yeah, we had a couple of problems that particular year where a couple of them went a little screwy and did kind of come out towards no one got killed or anything, but they did kind of come out in the audience, and then the smoke was in everybody's face, and it was really a horrible time, and we never ended up going out again. So it wasn't that wasn't the reason though.
Situation.
I always just become fixated on something. I'm just like, why does she have that bump right there on her ear? What is that? Where did that come from? I hope she doesn't ask me to kiss her, because I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, and I'm not going near it until I know, and I'm not asking her. So she either offers it up or we're done, and then.
Well, if it'll pop,
we'd be done.
A little bit.
I don't know what that. Yeah, what the fuck is that? It could be like the tiniest thing too, like totally no big deal, and I'd just be like, "What the fuck is that?" You're thinking it's gonna like, yeah, you think it's just gonna open up and be like, and then like a bunch of little things will come out of it, and you'd be like, ah,
They crawl inside your ear.
Yeah, I got a horrible imagination. I have no idea. Yeah, then I'll kiss her, and then I'll get a bump on my ear and shit, and then I'll be like, fuck. Now I'm stuck with that, so I don't know. That's how I am.
Makes your ear ring. Son of a bitch.
Fucking just oddly paranoid about dumb shit. She'd be like, I'm an expert. That's great. Awesome. But wait, what is that? What's, why does your nail have one little white spot on it? Oh, it's just it's a calcium deficiency or something. Mm-hmm. I'm taking you home,
Yeah, right. They cut your fucking sister there, didn't they?
Holy shit, your second toe is bigger than your big toe.
Right.
Back in the car, you're going home.
God. Back to Monkey Island, baby.
It's not even about perfection or anything. It's just if it's something odd, if it's just odd, that's what bothers me. It's just like
if it's like in your face wiggling, yeah, you gotta
you got one fucking long hair on your eyebrow. It's bugging me.
Yeah, it would, dude. After a while, you'd be like, wanting to just reach up and pluck it, but you know it would hurt.
Well, you can't, if they have something on their face, you can't have a conversation with them because you're staring at it. You're just, looking at it, you're like, what the fuck is
and
that?
And they know it,
probably sitting there with, frowning all the time.
With the hair hanging out of it.
And they're talking to you and their hands on their face because they're covering it and they're talking, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on with that? Yeah. That movie, what was that movie? Was it Better Off Dead or something? Where they were having that conversation, and they were like, "Is she looking? Do I have a booger?" And he's wiping his nose, and she's like, "Now he's wiping his nose. I must have something." Yeah, that's totally. So
they're all fucking beating each other over the face. Shit.
So trying to get rid of other shit. Yeah. Okay. So Brian, Independence Day.
Goddamn, dude, it's always hot as fuck. I mean, I know July 4th, man, but it's like. The idea is,
and
you see
muggy, and then they set the sky on fire.
Always these healthy young men out there playing football. It's like some sort of fucking grotty fucking shorts commercial or whatever. And they're grilling, and everybody's happy and healthy. And then you see our crew, the Basher Gang, would be out there just sweltering. It's so fucking hot. It's like everybody's just frowning, and everybody's wearing everybody's wearing fucking
jeans and a long sleeve shirt,
cargo t-shirt, and cargo fucking shorts and
high top tennis shoes, and we're just like, "Fuck, it's hot." I mean, it was so hot. You go outside, and you're like the first 5 minutes you're outside, you're like, "This is dumb." Man, we're gonna watch the fireworks. Well, then it's night.
Yeah, and it's like the longest time of the year too. So you
gotta wait until 10 o'clock at night. Goddamn fireworks to go on, and then you're stuck in fucking traffic for 2 fucking hours trying to get out of there because everybody's fucking half killing each other.
To watch the same shit you've seen every year. It's not like it's something.
And I don't even know what it's like in other parts of the country, man. But in Ohio, we got bugs. All right, man. You're trying to fucking enjoy this shit, and you got fucking bugs and drunks, and it's fucking bacon fucking cooking hot out, and you're like, why am I out in this shit? I don't even like fireworks, man. I could just sit here and watch this shit at home on my TV and air conditioning, and it'd be just as cool.
Bunch of screaming kids running by.
I mean, what? It's not realistic? I'll turn it up. Boom! There, see? I'll walk behind.
They love fucking fireworks down here, I'll tell you that.
Or you're waiting for it to end, but it keeps going, but they're setting them up slower. You're like, pss, pss. You're like, come on, is this over? What's going on?
And then at the end, it's like the bombing of Dresden. It's like, and it's like, that's not bad enough. That's not bad enough, okay? But what happens if you've got to work the next fucking morning and you're trying to sleep because you got to get up early, and you're about to fall asleep, and also all you hear is just like, you're just like going, fucking knock that shit off.
Or you always got the one neighbor.
You got the fucking neighbor.
Right, with the fucking, with the H100 cherry bombs that you boom, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're like trying to shoot their trash can down the fucking street, man. Now, the only time I really, really remember a 4th of July is I was over the road and I was driving through Ohio. I was like going I think it was on I-77. So I was out in the middle of fucking nowhere going south. But there's all these little small towns all over, and you could see every little one of these little small towns had their own fireworks display going on all over. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty fucking cool, man. I mean, kind of enjoy the fireworks. I'm just kind of hoping that nobody's aiming at my truck. Because every so often on the 4th of July, you'll get some dumbass who's going to drive by and, fire fucking bottle rockets at my fucking semi. And, of course, they don't understand that. I'm going to just, turn the wheel slightly and just like, well, you're trying to kill me, so I guess it's okay if I kill you first. No, I don't do that.
You ever go on a tanker on that day?
It's fucking
tanking gas on the back of your truck.
We had a neighbor. When I used to live in Lakewood, we had this one neighbor, and he was kind of like the king of the street. He was a really cool guy, and he had everybody over his fucking house, and it was a lunatic asylum. It really was. It was like we're playing fucking football in the street. My girlfriend was quarterbacking, so she's throwing the football, and then somebody else on the other side threw the football and it knocked down a power line. So these guys all work for the city. Not my girlfriend, but these other dudes. And the fire department shows up, some cops showed up, and it's just this giant fucking street party. And at some point, people thought it was a good idea to put on shop goggles and hold fucking bottle rockets in our hands and shoot it at each other.
Sure.
And at the time,
why use goggles?
We used to do that every year. We'd mount shit on our bikes and chase each other around the neighborhood shooting at each other. Mm-hmm. How we didn't die, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
But it was fun.
We were a little bit older when we realized that
I remember hitting Ira Leach in the middle of the back with one of those. Had this white T-shirt on. He had his big black.
Yeah, you know what, dude? I think I was there for that.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought he was going to catch on fire. That's fucking funny, man.
All right. Anderson?
For 4th of July, we in the Anderson household, we used to have like the barbecue over at our place, and pretty much. What?
Doesn't have burned shit.
Brian doesn't like barbecue. It's funny.
No, because it's always rotten. Fucking, you know what's the worst? No, I'm sorry, Anderson. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you know what's the worst is you go to a fucking you get that in the summer where some friends of yours invite you over for we're gonna have a cookout. You want to come over for the cookout? Yeah, they're vegetarians. That's not a cookout.
Oh God. We're gonna cook a fucking pineapple slice on there. Ooh,
dude, they cook all sorts of weird bullshit, and I come over there with meat, and they're just like giving me fucking shitty looks. And I'm just like, hey, fuck you, man.
You brought meat to a vegetarian party. Awesome.
Fuck yeah. We're gonna do
what?
Yeah, we're gonna fucking you want some
they
grilled.
Can't eat on that grill no more.
Yeah, want some grilled fucking hummus? Wipe my ass with it? No, get the fuck out of here with that. I got hot dogs.
Grill. I don't even know how that's possible, but that's funny.
This is 5 different kinds of animal ground up, dude. This is great.
All right, Anderson, please.
Go ahead, Anderson. I'm sorry, dude. It's just a game.
And yeah, no, we just we would have the picnic, I guess you'd say, at our place, and everybody would bring a different dish and all that shit. And then my aunt, my one aunt who was out in East Lake, she would always what?
Did you eat haggis?
No, it's a fucking American holiday.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry.
Dude, if I was Mexican, would you ask me if I grilled my beans?
Yes, I would. I'd ask you if you used tortillas. Never mind. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so you had some tortillas.
Did you play a lot of this music? No,
you know what it was? It was a bunch of people running around in kilts, playing bagpipes, yelling about the Bay City Rollers.
You know, it's funny because we all have ethnic backgrounds, but for some reason it's always fun to mess with Anderson and his. You know? I don't know why that is.
Because it's a good one to mess with.
His old man was such a fucking spaz. That's why it is funny.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just, you do have a kilt, though, don't you, Anderson?
No.
Oh, I thought you used to wear one.
No.
You didn't wear one in concert or something when you did shows?
They made him wear a dress.
No.
I thought you... Who the fuck had the kilt? Brian, do you have the kilt?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I mean, that's what it is.
He wears it when he plays his didgeridoo.
Anderson, you would wear a kilt. You would have worn a kilt. If you had a kilt, I could totally see you on stage wearing it. Because
yeah, I would have.
Yeah, I don't think
Axl Rose did it.
I totally don't. Yeah, I don't think that you would. Roddy Piper style. All right, I'm sorry. I won't interrupt anymore. Go ahead. You were at your aunt. Your aunt made something or some food.
Yeah, everybody would bring a dish, blah 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 blah, and then my one aunt, she would always bring the fireworks. She'd bring like bottle rockets or whatever, and whatever she could. Firecrackers and jumping jacks or whatever, and it was always like, yeah, Aunt Anne's coming over. We're gonna party down. And then I remember this one time we were having a party, and all of a sudden, it's kind of funny because I'm gonna throw a twist at you. So we're all hanging out in the backyard. And, the grill's going. People are kicking a soccer ball around because that's what us Scottish people do: is kick soccer balls. And all of a sudden, you hear bagpipes. My dad hired a guy to come out of the woods dressed in a kilt and stuff with bagpipes, playing the bagpipes. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, woohoo, woohoo.
Oh, my God, what a bunch of fucking racket.
Yeah, I know it was. It was scared the hell out of me.
You have an instant fucking hangover. You'd be like, shut up.
What the hell?
I remember walking around some fucking Walmart or something, and they were shopping, and this guy was paid to do the bagpipes for some beer that came out. And I'm like, really now? It's like 10 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I want to fucking kill you.
Dude, if I was at that party, I'd be with everybody else inside the house, looking with like all pissed with eyes all squinty, just like fuck.
But there's a whole fucking yard full of Scottish people.
I didn't say I was going to say anything amongst them. I'm not going to walk away with all these Scottish.
No, I'm just saying.
You're bullshit.
Oh, I thought.
Motherfuckers run a goddamn red uniform, saying I'm in the British Army.
I just thought Baird was a Scottish name, and I figured that you
doesn't mean that I fucking want to listen to that while I'm drinking. Like, gosh.
Listen, if you were an angry neighbor, would you really want to go over and yell at Don Anderson's dad?
Of course not.
Oh, dude, look at our neighbors, though.
After he told us that story where he got out of the car and like totally beat that guy up in front of Anderson and had his face against the glass.
When I was like,
you really want to go out there and mess with that guy? He hit you with the shillelagh. You wouldn't want to fuck with that there.
Wow.
All right, I think that's Irish, but whatever. You know, it's a stretch. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Larry.
I've been trying. I can't come up with anything fun for Independence Day. I mean, I watch fireworks, and I get drunk in somebody's backyard. That's my Independence Day. And sometimes this last year I let my children play with fireworks because, that's the sort of responsible parent I am. But that's about it.
Why not?
Well, okay. When they were younger, I just thought of it because I said that. I got each of them one of those, cheesy little fireworks packs you can get at like the convenience store or whatever for kids. Bought one for each of them, and my younger daughter, who at the time I'm gonna say was 5 or 4, as soon as she got a hold of those, those stupid little things you throw on the ground and they pop, she just started chasing her older sister around with them. And of course, my older daughter is far more of the wimp than my younger daughter. So she's just like shrieking as my younger daughter's like just whipping them at like the back of her legs and popping them next to her and trying to peg her in the face with them. So that was fun. And then of course, when I gave them, the first time I let them play with sparklers, that instantly turned into a sword fight.
Oh, nice.
Good time.
Cease.
Yeah, to relate on that last bit of thing, I never got burnt by any fireworks, firecrackers, or anything.
You haven't lived, dude.
But the worst burn I ever got from any of those motherfucking things is that little snake thing that you...
those things are lethal, man.
God damn, I had blisters for fucking weeks. Fucking insane. Well,
it doesn't just burn you, it drills into your skin.
Yeah, it fucking burrows in there.
And it just instantly starts, spewing all over the place as soon as you light it. There's like no delay at all. You touch it with the fucking match, and it's like.
So it looks like a little Tootsie Roll
pellet,
and then you light it, and then it grows as it burns. It's like napalm, basically, that kind of grows.
Black napalm.
Cease. Did you have a story?
Yeah, anyways, every 4th of July, we used to hang out with my dad's brother family, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. They still are Jehovah's Witnesses. And it was a big family gathering. I mean, it's like fucking 40 people there, and that's big for me. But anyways, we get there, we go to North Homestead Park, and it's always hotter and shit, and they try to get the pavilion set up and all that stuff, and we get the hairy eye from the fucking Jehovah's Witnesses all day. It was fun, fantastic. But once in a while, I get to play with my cousin. He was about a year younger than me, and we fucking like skin our knees off and shit on the fucking slides and everything, and try to play baseball, get hit in the face with it with the older guys, and that was about it. But one particular, when I hit about 18, I got a little sick of the Jehovah's Witness fucking attitude, and my one cousin, Tim, which was 30 at the time, was nothing but at it. He hated everybody. So we went there, and he's giving me this fucking shit, and he comes up to me, and no one's paying any attention. He goes, "What the hell are you doing here?" And he did that to every one of my family, every one of them, and no one ever said anything. And I'm like, you know what, motherfucker? I got the same goddamn last name. That's why I'm here. You want to fucking go? Let's go. And he never asked that question ever again. It's like. My aunt just like pulled his ear and like he was like a little kid. What are you doing? It was funny. That's about all the memories from that shit.
Cease's stories are always about massive rejection, and then another story will be about him having to blow up on somebody and threaten their life for respect.
Well,
it's good.
It's a long, hard road, I would say.
Corber, do you have a... welcome back to the show, by the way. Do you have a story about the 4th of July, Independence Day?
Just about the fact that when everybody comes down the marina, it's just crazy. Fucking people just come out of nowhere. Tons of people. But just...
like ninjas.
You see all kinds of... just drunk...
Senior citizen ninjas.
it's a mixture of so many different kind of people. It's funny, and it's hell, really, to be honest with you. You know, and so we sit there, we park cars for 2 hours, and it's just nonstop, and it's just like crazy, crabby ass rich person after another, and then you sit there and you watch the experience across Sarasota Bay, and it's not really that wonderful. It's a lot of money that's involved with it, but it's really because you're all sitting there and going, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to listen to this bitch complain because I've been waiting for my car for 5 minutes. And it's right over there. And I hate 4th of July, to be honest with you. I hate.
Brian, you're typing too loud.
I would just hand her a key, man.
Yeah. Then she dings the cars that she's pulling out because she's drunk as a skunk and she's trying to get to her, whatever. But anyways, yeah.
So, Jason, when you move back up here, are you going to be a valet again, or are you going to move on to something else?
No, I'd like to start my own valet company up in Cleveland, actually, to be honest with you.
What does that entail? You just going around asking people if they want you to park their car? I mean, are you going to...
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride my bike downtown,
waiting
down the street, go, hey,
restaurant.
Hey, I'm going to park your car for you? Sure.
Just walk around with a shirt on that says valet.
$5. It'll be great.
Just wear a vest.
Yeah. Wear a shirt that says valet. Somebody will
clothes, I got the jacket. I got the shoes. I got the Nike pants. You know what? People will just...
I even got a driver's license.
Just wear the valet shirt, stand in front of a club or something, then just take off in their car. You know, and just sell it.
I'm sure it'd work sometime.
Like, yeah.
And I can
actually, you know what?
You better hurry up and get it done.
To be honest with you, Cleveland, they don't have a valet. They're in the up and coming. No, well, I mean, they're in the up and coming. Come on,
because we're a city.
They spend all this money. They spend all this money in the city, and they're trying to put up a casino.
Yeah, it'll be a lottery machine in the middle of fucking.
Dude, you haven't been to Cleveland.
Yeah, well, the only problem with that is the casino probably already has their valet company picked out.
Well, probably 9 times, and you're probably right, but there's more opportunity in Cleveland than people know.
There's room to move as a fry cook.
You can always.
That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. It's going to be a fry cook.
That was a
I'll probably be working better as a
salesman. I'm probably going to go back to Pier 1 Imports. Wonder if Manchuaco.
Pier 1 Imports.
No, I was just in. I was in that mall today.
Bankroll for you.
Yeah, they're not there no more.
It's something 88.
Manchuaco.
At least when I worked there, they didn't know my name. They just called me Heya. Heya!
Come on!
But it was on my check, all right, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
Yeah, well, hey.
Chinese
tech.
I was going to look at my check and see Heya in there. That would have been it. You know?
I remember I somehow got a hold, so I found or something, an H100, and which is like a quarter stick of dynamite, in case you don't know. And it was over at Kevin Vinoy's house, and we went into his backyard, and there was a tree stump there, and we put it there, and then we tied a rubber band to it, which kind of works as a wick, an extended wick. And he goes, dude, if we light this off, Charlie, which was Brian Osborne's stepdad, who's really nosy and everything, he will totally come out here and chew us out and shit. And we're like, well, all right, we're going to have to hide and stuff. So we, lit this thing, and we booked over to the woods and, hid in the trees and shit, and that thing just goes... We didn't know what it was going to do because I found it. We weren't really even sure what it was because it's not like when you have one of these things. They're all kind of homemade. You can't just go buy an H100 or something even at a legitimate fireworks store because they're illegal. And so you don't know. But sure enough, it just goes boom, and it just fucking rocks the fucking thing. We're like, whoa! And sure enough, 2 seconds later, Charlie comes outside. Who the fuck's lighting off fireworks out here and stuff? And he's looking around and stuff. We're just hiding. We're like, oh shit, because it would have been but nothing. We didn't get caught or anything, but it was just kind of funny.
I remember running around with Vinoy in the middle of the night at that fucking apartment complex behind his house, and he always had them fucking things. He's throwing them in the garbage fucking dumpsters. And the motherfucking things are so powerful, they blow the lids open. And the fucking cops would be there 10 minutes later. We're fucking laugh. Brian Osborne he laughed so hard he couldn't make it across the grass field. He'd just fall down and start laughing. We're like, come on, you gotta run, you know.
That's awesome.
When practical jokes go horribly wrong.
Okay. All right. So let's see. It's about 9:52. We got about 15 more minutes of recording time. So if you're listening on blogtalkradio.com live, you're probably going to want to switch to the Shoutcast stream because it's going to end and we're going to keep going for about 10 more minutes. You can get to the Shoutcast stream by going to videogamenews.com and clicking on the Listen Live link on the left-hand side. And there's a little player in there, and you can also pick it up.
There's a little player.
Yeah, and you can also go to the chat on blogtalkradio.com/VGN if you need instructions on how to do that. Somebody in the chat room will help you. Otherwise, fuck it. You're going to get disconnected. And then we're going to pick up on sports shortly after that. And we'll be taking calls on sports all night. But anyway, this show is going to go on a little bit further. So I've kind of grouped together Martin Luther King, President's Day, and Columbus Day as points of discussion because those are 3 days that you don't really get off of work unless you have a bullshit government job like Larry has. So
I don't really care about it either way. So who cares?
Sorry. All right, Mr. Negative.
Click.
Martin Luther King Day is pretty much it's the day they play the Martin Luther King speech on TV, right? I mean, is there anything else about that? It's not like we have a big meal.
It's the day they're not showing Nazis taking over Europe on History Channel.
It's basically like it's a day of reflection about Martin Luther King.
It's the day we're inundated with, 132 uses for the peanut. And all the great...
Peanuts are awesome.
Genius.
But, yeah, no, seriously, it's... as far as I see it, it's just a holiday that doesn't, it has no... I don't know what we're supposed to do. Like every holiday, you have some sort of an event, and then Martin Luther King Day comes, and you're just kind of like...
I tell you what, you're not supposed to do is piss off black people on that day. So.
Yes, most other days...
That would lead to epic failness really fast.
Yeah, that's why I often think that they ought to change the name of the holiday to Civil Rights Day, because sort of like how President's Day, you had like George Washington's Day.
Because the rest of us would celebrate Civil Wrongs Day.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Civil
we
wrongs?
Just celebrate like everything that we've ever done heinous to other people. Starting with Thanksgiving.
No, I mean it would
move on from there.
Civil, it would be more of a sense to be civil rights because it's not, because that's the problem. Like a lot of people think, it's the black man's holiday, but it's really
the day when Rose.
It's really supposed to be about civil rights, and I think that's what screws it up is because
fucking things like that.
Never mind. It's pointless trying to talk in this audience about, but you get my point.
It's because we really don't care. But we will celebrate just about fucking anything in this goddamn city.
Well, if you got off of work, you'd care. You'd be like, hey, it's a day off. I get this off, right? Cool.
You know what? We don't, but when I delivered to New York City once, they did. I went to deliver, like, dude, it's Monday. Like, yeah, it's Martin Luther King Day. I'm like, oh, that's a holiday? And I got, like, shitty looks. I'm like, fuck, I didn't know. We don't celebrate that crap. That crap. It's a great man. I'm like, I'm not denying that. I'm saying, fuck, it's a holiday.
Yeah.
And the Navy was a holiday, too, man. Like, the whole ship just, like, shut down.
I just think that the definition of it gets skewed because people just think that it's a black people holiday. And, and if you just made it about civil rights, people would have...
It was just funny because, like, you'd go on the ship and, like, in the where they have all the food... it was like people just, there was like, maybe a couple of white guys and it was like all the other people that were not white sitting there. And then you'd go like all the little compartments where everybody had like, their berthing area and it was all like white guys sitting around playing cards, because they didn't want to get fucked with. It's like, what the hell, man? It's crazy.
So President's Day is another day. Now, when we were growing up, there used to be 2 days off of school. You used to get Washington's birthday off and you got Lincoln's birthday off. And I don't know why. That's just the way it was. And eventually they decided to combine them both into President's Day. And so you only got the 1 day off. And I guess teachers everywhere were pissed that they got shortchanged a day. But it was kind of ridiculous. I have nothing really else to say about President's Day because it's a bullshit holiday. Does anybody sit around and think about the president on President's Day? What happens? Nothing, right?
Nope.
Brian's busy typing. Larry fell
I get
asleep.
the day off work again.
Yeah, Larry gets off of work.
It's just too close to my birthday for me to care.
That's a holiday.
See, unfortunately, those bullshit government holidays.
I don't get any fucking mail.
President's Day, yeah, I don't get mail, which is annoying. But I get the day off of work, and with my job, having the day off of work is kind of more annoying than having to go to work, because most of our contractors don't have that day off of work. So I usually wind up spending a chunk of the day dialed in from home, which just bothers me even more because I still have to deal with their shit, even though I'm supposed to be off.
Right. So. And President's Day is basically the day of like furniture sales, right?
Yeah. I mean, for whatever reason, they decided that those two fit together perfectly.
It's the President's Day sale. Woo! You know, you see Benjamin.
And they always
because everybody wants to get new furniture delivered in February.
Right, and you see Benjamin Franklin there, and you're like, he wasn't a president, you know? Walking around.
Benjamin Franklin is always a part of it, too.
For some reason, he's always on the TV on President's Day.
Trying to sell you something.
How the fuck, you know?
And there's a lot of Lincoln speeches. It's never like obscure President Day. You know, President Hayes. Like, this is a speech by President Hayes. People are like, who?
Yeah. We had a president named Hayes?
We're dedicating the next hour to Warren G. Harding.
All music by Warren G.
Were there like two Grover Clevelands too, or something like that? Yeah, there was like two presidents named Grover Cleveland.
One of them get like assassinated.
No, there was one Grover Cleveland, but he served non-consecutive terms.
Oh, but there was actually there was a president with the same name. There was two.
There were two George Bushes.
Yeah, that's true. But all right, and it doesn't matter.
I don't think that's what he was going for.
90 seconds.
Yeah, 90 seconds.
Dun, dun. Sorry, going to hang up on Blog Talk. If you're listening on Blog Talk, switch to Shoutcast, videogamenews.com, and then on Listen Live link, because I'm disconnecting Blog Talk. Goodbye. All right, so
there's something irregular,
and that takes us also to Columbus Day, which we basically
I thought we were talking about holidays.
It is a holiday.
Yeah, I thought we went like real shit.
God, dude, why is everybody so cranky, man?
He's so bitter.
Dude, you could talk about Easter.
We are going to talk about that, dude.
Halloween.
There's a lot of holidays.
Nobody cares about Columbus Day. Nobody's got nothing about fucking...
God, you're angry, man. What's the matter with you? Did you get enough sleep?
I know, man.
No, I am kind of...
Must have been all of Scottish shit. We're sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Scottish people don't celebrate Columbus Day. No, go ahead.
You know what I hate about Columbus Day? Columbus Day is the day where, like, all you hear about is, like, Columbus was, like, some sort of murderer. You know, like, he enslaved fucking people. It's like, dude, everybody enslaved people back then, all right? It's not fucking just pick on one goddamn person.
It's not Columbus's fault.
Yeah, he didn't invent this shit.
All right, I'm sorry.
What do you do on Columbus Day?
Maybe the Indians should have done a better job of organizing.
No, Larry might have one for Columbus Day.
You basically hear about how Columbus killed the Indians.
He doesn't have anything with anything else, but he might have Columbus Day.
Oh, I got some crazy Columbus Day stories I can tell. Wait till Kevin gets to Arbor Day, man. You better make that its own show. This week in Midwest Wasteland, Arbor Day.
Arbor Day's on here.
Oh,
yep.
It is not.
It is too.
What do you do on Arbor Day?
It's grouped together with Earth Day. We're going to talk about that. It's going to be the nature holidays.
Halloween.
All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
Goddamn.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, you know.
Sorry.
The show's about holidays. We're going to talk about all of them, so somebody can't write me an email and be like, "You guys didn't cover Columbus Day. What do you guys do on Columbus Day?" You know.
I know she didn't say.
I didn't discuss Victoria Day.
What? Are we going to have All Souls Day?
If Karate Dog was on, we'd talk about fucking. We'd talk about Hanukkah, but he ain't going to be on. No, but we are going to talk about Good Friday, Ash Wednesday, and Easter. Okay, here's the list. You guys want to know? Here we go. We're going to talk about Labor Day and Memorial Day. We're going to talk about Good Friday, Ash Wednesday, and Easter. We're also going to talk about the Tooth Fairy, because that counts in this.
That's a holiday?
Well, it is for kids. It is New Year's Day.
What?
How else are you going to fit it in? When else are we ever going to talk about it? We're going to have a whole show about...
Okay, you know what? Here, I'll take care of it now. Is anyone going to have a story about the fucking Tooth Fairy?
Yes, Brian and I will.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, we probably will.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we roll.
New Year's.
The fact that you didn't get a nickel or whatever from the Tooth Fairy.
Hey man, that fucking price has gone up.
Can I finish the list? God damn it! New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, Earth Day, Arbor Day,
Earth Day,
and Groundhog Day.
That's not a holiday.
And April Fool's Day.
What about No Smoking Day? How's that? Smoke out.
Yeah, the smoke out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to cover all of our bases, man.
What about Rib Day? Whatever the fuck.
God, you guys get so angry. Fuck, man. Bunch of fucking crabby-ass old men. As this show gets older, folks, everybody turns into more and more old, cranky men until eventually there won't be much of a show to do anymore. Because nobody will want to do shit.
Who are we talking about here? You're the leader of this pack.
I'm trying to keep it going. Everybody's like, fuck that. I don't want to talk about that fucking shit, man. Fuck it. No, I don't have anything. Talk about Easter already. Fuck. What is with all you guys at Easter all of a sudden? I know I'm going to bring up Easter, and you guys are going to be like, I got...
Easter,
because Easter's a real holiday.
Nothing. No, it isn't, actually. Easter's the one fucking holiday that's not. It's not recognized by the government. It's not a fucking holiday.
It's on a Sunday.
It's not. It is not.
It's called spring holiday.
No, it is not a national holiday. Easter is not a holiday. It is simply a religious fucking affair. It is absolutely not a holiday. So that that's what I'm saying. So Columbus Day is, and Easter isn't. But you guys are like, let's do Easter. Fuck, I'm just trying to go over all the goddamn holidays.
Kevin, you set us up by like, all right, we're going to talk about holidays. So you guys come up with an idea for that holiday. Who the hell has any fucking idea what they did on a Columbus Day?
You didn't say every holiday.
I just covered these lightly. I didn't ask if you guys had a Columbus Day fucking story. I just fucking was bringing it up as a holiday.
Everybody think about your holidays, all right.
I didn't go around on Martin Luther King Day. I didn't go around on President's Day or Columbus Day. I asked you about Christmas, Thanksgiving, Independence Day, Valentine's Day, and you cranky old fuckers are bitching that I brought up Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, and Columbus Day. I didn't even ask you for a fucking story about it.
Yeah, but you said it's on the list.
So get off my lawn.
I just brought it up. I didn't say you had to tell anybody anything about it.
You brought the Tooth Fairy, and also it was like very homoerotic.
Yeah, the whole Tooth Fairy thing kind of threw it for a loop.
Somebody, the guy. Listen, the guy who wrote in and asked us to do holidays asked us
for the Tooth Fairy.
Yes, to talk about the Tooth Fairy. So I put it on here.
I want to put his name on here. Put his name on here.
I wrote in and said, you guys should tell stories about the Tooth Fairy. Who was that?
All right, I'll look him up. Hold on.
You're making shit up.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I got to open up my email. I'll tell you.
I call shenanigans.
He's a 5-year-old kid.
Listen, I'm not smart enough to fucking think of that myself.
It's some kid who's never lost a tooth, and he's like, I wonder what's going to happen. I'll ask the VGN guys.
What happens on Tooth Fairy Day?
Yeah. Can you guys
you have any idea how much fucking fun that would be, Tooth Fairy Day?
No, because everybody imagines in their head that Brian...
knock each other's teeth out so you can see who can get the most money.
That Brian's going to tell some fucking... funny-ass fucking story, so they said, let Brian talk about Tooth Fairy. That's why people say shit.
They probably tried to get us all pissed off so we talk about it like this.
Tooth Fairy. We walk around with fucking like oxygen tanks.
Oh, this is all planned. I see.
Yeah.
Very nice, Kevin. I like how you
work. All mad and yelling at each other.
I like how you work yourself, Kevin. That's nice.
The Tooth Fairy. Walking on 2 twos with wings. Oh, my God.
Wasn't he a wrestler at one time?
I think I deleted it. I know you guys are going to call. I know you guys are going to call shenanigans.
Your alter ego. No, I was just kidding.
Yeah, you're a visible fucking playmate.
God
damn it! You're making quotations with your hands when you say.
Dude, I mean, most of the fucking Arbor Day. Yeah, I mean, come on.
We're going to talk about Earth Day, which mixes with Arbor Day.
No, we're not.
Because of the whole green thing.
What is Arbor Day, since you brought it up anyway?
It's the thing you're supposed to grow a tree.
We have an Earth Day story. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, there are stories because people fucking tell you you're supposed to do shit on Earth Day.
Yeah, I tell them to go fuck themselves.
And you know, there's like...
the only thing I remember, I got one for Earth Day.
Right, well, don't say it right now, because we're not on that one. We're going to wrap the show up now.
I specifically go out and litter on Earth Day.
Getting all this shit about it, and then you guys are like, well, I have a story, actually. I mean, God damn it.
We're saying let's talk about Columbus Day. Let's go.
Well, we're done. The show's over now because we spent 20 minutes fucking yelling about it.
Like, we're going to fucking remember what the hell we did on Columbus
Day. I didn't ask you to remember what the fuck you were doing on Columbus Day. I was just talking about it in general.
You got attacked.
And fuck, we were about to go to Labor Day and Memorial Day, but now we fucking had to stop. Yeah, so I had to defend the list because you guys were pissed off that I wasn't talking about fucking Easter.
And then you're like, Easter's not a holiday, putting the diction of...
Easter is not. It's not a fucking holiday.
It says it's a religious holiday, so it doesn't count. It's like, fuck, dude, they have the word holidays in
Nobody but fucking Christians celebrate. It's not. It's a religious holiday. I know so is Christmas, but fucking
we've all celebrated it, though. We all have it in common.
Easter is not a national holiday.
Doesn't matter. We all get paid for it.
Brian, you don't celebrate fucking Easter.
Wait, Easter doesn't count because it's a religious holiday?
It is no, it's on the list. I'm saying it's not a real holiday, though. It's not a holiday.
Dude, if I get paid for it, fuck you, I celebrate it.
Well, there you go. That'll be the deciding factor.
For whatever reason, Martin Luther King, President's Day, and Columbus Day are real holidays according to the government, but Easter is not.
It's because it's on a Sunday anyhow.
No, it's not. Because when you're in the whole...
I'm going to call my boss and say, hey, I get the day off.
Trust me, anybody that has to work on Easter has gone through the situation where, like, well, I get double time, right, for working Easter, and they go, no, because it's not a holiday. And you're like, what do you mean?
Sunday, you get it anyway.
What do you mean it's not a holiday? And they're like, no, it's not a holiday. You don't get double time for it. It's a bullshit thing because that's just how it is. It's not a fucking holiday. It's religious.
Yeah, just like Pluto.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that's how it is.
So, dude, why you gotta bring up Pluto? You know we're just gonna get involved in that shit next. Next time on Midwest, we're gonna talk about planets. The universe.
Among the questions, what's your favorite planet?
Yeah.
Should Pluto be a planet?
Yeah. No, it's bullshit. Is there a black hole in the middle of our fucking galaxy?
I can explain why Pluto shouldn't be a planet, but I think I've done that already. It can't be, though.
It is, though. It's a rock.
The problem is...
Oh, God, here we go.
No, look, okay.
It's your fault, Cease. Fuck this shit up.
No, the problem is that there are larger objects than Pluto out by the Kuiper Belt. There are larger planets, so then you would have to make all of them planets.
The moon.
No.
Yes.
It's not just a question of size. Do they maintain a regular orbit?
Pluto does not maintain a regular orbit.
Oh, my
God. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's as regular as the rest of them.
No, it is not.
It is.
It is totally not. It does not. It does not go all the way around. It actually goes up and over. That's why it'll never actually hit when it crosses through Neptune's orbit.
Well, we don't have to worry about it crashing.
It's actually above Neptune and goes over like a comet. It does not have a regular orbit. It is. It's
like the mascot.
It's too small. You can't do it. The reason they did all this is because they have this problem.
There's Planet X too,
where they say they'll have to make. There's a planet called Xena, Brian, and that they would say that's actually larger than Pluto in the Kuiper Belt, and they would have to make that a planet too. And there's many other objects.
Speaking of Xena, I was watching that Spartacus show, and she's on there, and there's like one point where she's like practically naked, like riding this dude. She's got like those little fucking nipple tassels on, but they're like kind of big. And I'm like looking at her, and at first I'm thinking, gosh, she's still pretty fucking good looking. And I looked at those fucking tassel things. I'm like, what does she got? Fucking like fucking orangutan nipples, all huge and shit. What the fuck with the huge cups? You have to see it. It's pretty funny. All right, go on.
I suppose you're going to say that.
I just saw it this morning. I'm like, what the hell's with the
I suppose you're going to say Eris isn't a planet either.
Are they HBO or something?
No, it's on Stars. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty fucking violent.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
So we went from whether or not the Tooth Fairy is a holiday to Xena's nipples.
I know that the Tooth Fairy is not a holiday.
Somehow made the connection, dude.
I know that but this guy wanted to know what we thought of mythological creatures in holidays.
So why the fuck does the Tooth Fairy come up with a holiday?
And then he had said as an example the Tooth Fairy, and I thought of other mythological
creature shows,
and I didn't know what else we would talk about. Because I can't think of anything else that we actually celebrate.
Yeah, we could have a whole show on that. What the fuck? Mythological creatures.
It'll just end up.
We had that show already. We talked about werewolves and Bigfoot and everything.
It'll come back.
Yeah, you could do that whole
I fail everybody who
That'll be another show that Larry doesn't make it because he's like, you know what?
Murphy's Law, Luck, and all that other shit.
Well, folks, if you want to listen to this more of, in 2 weeks, we're going to do Holidays Extended, where the bitter people will come up and yell at me because we will be talking about the Tooth Fairy that everybody's angry about. But we're going to start out with Labor Day and Memorial Day, so everybody can go, oh, it's fucking dumb. It's fucking stupid. Fucking dumb holiday. So, we're going to do sports. Let's see, it's 10:11 now. How about, because we got to make it kind of quick, so let's do 10:25 for, we'll start sports at 10:25, okay? You've been listening to Video Game News Radio. If you'd like to send us an email, write to radio@videogamenews.com. That's actually all wrong, because we don't have an outro for Midwest Wasteland. My bad. You can write me there, though. You can write me there, because that's you can write me there, because that's cool, because we'll still get it, but we won't read it on this show. So.
The Undead from Cleveland.
We don't have an outro for Midwest Wasteland, so that's it. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Stick around for Cleveland sports.
Oh, folks.
Yeah, I'm sure the argument will continue over there somehow.